Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay, just making sure.
I was hoping to go for a longer draw, but my saliva got in the way.
I like how your invisible water just has Dan cut right through the center of you.
Okay, that's going to need to be minimized like that. You guys are going to be up here like this. Oh, come on. Oh, that's why. Where did I put my notes? Where did I put... I mean, my sinking feeling is that I like shut down my computer without saving them, and it didn't like you know how you sometimes some applications will restore them, and that I just didn't or something. But
I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, D Tungsten, how are you doing?
D Tungsten.
I'm sorry, I don't have all the cool little toys that Francisco has on his. So
when they work, some of mine are like, "Here's a toy. It doesn't work." Ha ha ha. No.
Well, in your defense, recently Twitch kind of did just screw everything up. So
right. Thanks a lot, Twitch.
And Facebook decided to hate me too that week. So I've actually I've been fighting both of them.
Oh man. Wait. So do I need to cancel my stream to host your stream? No, I'm confused. Because I know my stream is still going.
Don't know.
I'm gonna go. So it'll be interesting because then, if that's the case, it'll be. Oh yeah, hosting. Yeah. Where I'm seeing us on Retro Rewind.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. I wish that capability was on like YouTube and Facebook and stuff too.
Yeah.
Where could I have put you? Oh, where could I have put you?
See, this is part of the reason why I do all mine on Google Docs.
So usually I have my notebook here is what I do them all on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see any right there. That's wow. Like that. This is where I just do all my notes. But I'm like, oh well, this isn't Retro Rewind, so I shouldn't use this for that. I'll just use a Google or Doc. But no, I should have just done the paper. You can't erase paper. I guess you can burn it, but
not with pen anyway.
Not with pen. Pencil is a story.
Oh, fine. But you can still see the impression in the paper.
Yeah,
so.
that is true.
And on the paper beneath it.
It really depends on what kind of paper you're using.
Good point. Fantastic.
Cheap Walmart paper. Yeah. You're
yeah.
See it 3 or 4 layers deep.
Maybe here.
Which when I buy notebooks, that tends to be where I buy them from because it's there.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't think I sent myself an email with this stuff.
Oh no.
And PaulJPowers.com says there's something familiar about all this.
Hey, Paul.
I imagine there is. D. Tungsten says, I just typed my notes directly onto the webpage.
Great. Good for you.
Paul apparently uses digital paper.
Yes, okay. Yes, I know you guys you're all like, oh, just go digital for just going, you'll be fine. Yes, I realize the error of my ways, okay? I can't change it now.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with old school. I draw I draw physically and I color physically, so
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm
and you just take a picture of your photos when you upload them to Instagram? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
do you have to like do stuff with the white balance? Because I notice whenever I like take a picture of paper, it always ends up yellow.
Yeah, it depends on how you're shooting it, the lighting, and then you just go back and adjust the white balance.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is.
Okay.
And then if it ends up being something I use for the album artwork, I usually go in there and just kind of make sure the background is as white as I can get it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If someone would get a scanner and internet, it might move a little easier, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Hint, hint, honk, honk.
I said nothing.
Yeah, sure. I have a scanner. I need to work on it.
Chat,
And yes,
mom and daddy are fighting.
Dude, we've had this
we-
semi-argument.
This is a debate we've been going on for.
what? I first learned you didn't have internet, which
Yes.
would have been a week or two
Into recording.
Before, no, it
Indeed,
was
Cardinal.
Before
Yeah.
we recorded Frozen.
Yes.
Because we were talking, okay, well, because I said, okay, we need to do it at your apartment because at the time it was very noisy in here because apparently I had a herd of buffalo living above me.
Ooh,
I
I
figured
love
your
bison
apartment would be
burgers.
quieter. And then I find out, oh, you don't have internet. Well, gee, I guess I need to bring a laptop. Which at the time I was using a laptop, it crashed on me in within what, 10 episodes?
10 episodes.
If that.
Yeah.
And then I had to haul old Bessie over there.
Oh, that was fun.
Dude, I
So-
lost 3 keyboards to that process.
Agreed.
It kept
Jeez
falling
Louise.
off.
So I'm going to attempt to recreate my notes real quick.
It's all good.
Hello, Jack and D Tungsten and Cardinal and Paul, by the way.
Yes. Jack Cornwall saying Stampede.
Right.
Thankfully, the Stampede doesn't happen as much anymore.
That's good. Yes, bison burgers, D Tungsten, you got it.
Okay, in my defense, when it came to internet, definitely 4 years ago, it was more of
Ashley.
like a large. There was a temptation I
Thank
did
you.
not want to fall into.
And that's fair.
Yeah,
That's very
totally
fair.
fair.
And it's one of those that now it's more like, okay,
Now you just got to actually call and actually set up an appointment.
yeah, exactly.
I like to point out that I've gotten this and got it set up like very quickly. That time period.
What did you get set up? I can't tell.
They upgraded my my modem from the
Nice.
Walmart modem I was using to one of these fancier ones that has the cable and all that other stuff.
Ooh.
Pretty
Yeah.
much paying the same price I was before, and the speed's not any different, but supposedly it's better.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Drew, can you help me out here? What's the name of this updated version? The Senpai version or something? Or
Sentai Filmworks.
oh,
Sentai Filmworks. Okay.
Filmworks.
Yeah, SENTAI.
That's fine. I'm gonna spell it wrong anyways. It doesn't matter. No one's gonna see my notes, or are they? Sentai Film Works.
It can't be any worse than my notes that I literally wrote up about an hour ago after having seen the movie last week. Because I didn't get mine written. I forgot that last part of it until I got off work today.
You didn't rewatch the movie? Where's your
No.
commitment?
No. Because the thing is, it's my copy of the movie, but he had to borrow it, and I got it to him. What, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tuesday.
really, D Tungsten? Oh my god!
I haven't seen the movie in a week, so I
This will be
suspect I
interesting,
have
though.
forgotten something.
All right, fair. I don't feel so bad then. Yes, Senpai.
Yeah. Since I do
Notice
not
me,
have
Senpai. Film
since I do not have the internet, it's more, and plus I'm a
Yeah, you can't
I'm
stream
a
anything
physical
anyway,
media guy.
Uh-huh.
I love physical movies.
which is fair.
Should I have started recording now?
Oh yeah, go ahead and start recording.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I should have
I'm-
said something.
I'm so used to someone saying, "Hey, Mark." So
Sorry, I'm in a habit of hitting record as soon as I go live.
well, and you guys are so used to just you two guys. So yeah, that
Yeah,
totally makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, hitting record now. Do you want me to do any like clapping or anything?
No, I figured out how to get this fit within a short amount of time.
Okay, sweet.
I'll notice go to it came out about 10 minutes 45 seconds. That's when he started.
All right. Okay, so that's recording now. This. Thank you, Jack. Very helpful now. Let's see.
I've got that movie over here actually.
Which movie?
Oh, hi Mark.
Oh gosh. I still haven't seen this film.
You don't want to see this film.
I know this.
I have it because I couldn't not buy it after having seen the movie. seen the movie about the making of the movie and read the book that movie was based on. So it's like, well, I might as well complete the collection at this point. And it is bad. He tried, but it's bad. Ironically, Paul, it's in a couple of rooms, not just one room. I think the room in question is the bedroom, but don't quote me on that.
Oh, that's another one.
If it helps, you only need 2 likes and 2 dislikes.
Now I don't know. I have my 2 likes. I was working on my 3rd dislike, but
I'm glad I saved you some time.
yeah. I guess okay. I'm good then. Actually,
I'm almost done with my notes. So
okay,
just
good.
bear with
I
me
want to
for a
go
minute.
get some lemon honey water, just so I'm not going
Fair enough.
all the time.
Fair
Wicca,
enough.
wicca,
Go
wicca.
right ahead.
Exactly.
We can make a really cool mixtape out of that.
Team Smoke you.
Team Stitch.
Actually, I just realized, isn't that the movie they're recording next?
Oh, don't tell me you are.
Checking Discord. I am checking his Discord
Okay.
right now. I'm gonna find this out. Yeah, that's on October 29th.
Ah! No.
I'll actually be off that Friday.
I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna get on here and be like, hey, did you know about this film? You know about this? It's like, why did we have Jacob on here? It's like, I don't know.
Just get on the Twitch and just start typing at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's like, Jacob, why does your finger look like your pretzels? Like, well, I was typing 90 miles an hour for like 2 hours.
No, because when this would come up would be while we're on the road the next day, and someone will say, why's your thumb so bruised, Jacob? And I'll say, I know why, because he was texting last night.
Oh my gosh. Go back.
I feel like I'm forgetting something, and I won't know it until we actually get started.
That is true. We get like midway through, and it's like, oh crap! We find out when this was released in the U.S.
Team Smoke you.
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I know there was a Streamline release and then Sentai's release. But don't ask me either one.
1992.
Okay. So since Francisco's back, I just want to go over the order of events for you. Just right quick, make sure we're all on the same page.
Sure.
Start off with the pre-recorded theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Go into introductions. I'll introduce Jacob with a pun. Jacob will introduce me with a pun. You want to introduce him, or do you want me to?
You go ahead.
I'll introduce Francisco with a pun then.
Do you need a pun for me, or you got one?
Oh, I'll make a pun for you.
Oh, fine.
I don't know what it is right this second.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can suggest something for you, but if you don't, no, you don't want my help. Never mind.
Okay, then I am curious. I'm actually curious.
No.
What pun would you want? What pun would you request?
Now we got a guest that really sucks. See, because vampires suck blood.
Oh.
It's comedy gold. Wait, did you seriously not get that before?
No, I thought you were saying something else sucks, and it took me a while to realize, oh, that's actually the pun you want. A man who really sucks. Okay, this is going to be a good episode.
I'm unappreciated in my time. But that's
And,
okay.
and you thought, Francisco, that you weren't going to be funny on this show.
Well, not as funny as with PaulDPowers.com, but that's
Right.
okay.
That's of course. After we do the introductions, we'll go into the quick banter section, which will include Jacob asking you a number of questions that we will not be letting you know ahead of time.
Okay. Are they going to be the same questions as last time or different questions?
Well, I would hold on. I would
We
say
usually mix it up.
yeah, but
Oh, okay.
the idea that be like Francisco's already been on the
original.
show, so be like the idea of going back and redoing it for like the same guest.
Yeah,
So
but we've had guests on before, and you've changed it up.
yeah, that's true.
I don't
I'll
care
figure-
either way.
all
Just
right. I'll figure something out.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting to do it, but yeah, fly off the seat of my cape.
nice.
Okay.
I sit on my cape too.
All
And
right.
Bloodlust is good, D. Tungsten. At least I remember it being good.
It gets
I
uncomfortable
haven't
after
watched
a
it
few
yet.
hours.
Then we'll go into what we've been watching. Do we have news?
Yes.
Then we'll do the news. Then we'll go into a
I
spoiler-free
failed you,
section
Paul.
of the
I'm
review.
sorry.
What?
I'm talking to Paul.
Oh.
I failed him.
Then we'll go into the spoiler-free section of the review. Then we'll do the pre-recorded intermission for the bumpers. We'll take a quick break if you need to use the restroom or something like that, and we'll go through chat again at that time. Then we'll come back with the spoiler warning. I don't have a funny one this time. My apologies. I'll go over the cast and the crew with the Kingdom Hearts connection afterwards. Jacob will do info and stuff. I'll then read a summary that I shamelessly stole from Wikipedia. I'll read a little bit of trivia. Then we'll go into likes and then dislikes, rating, say what the next movie is, play a quick little intro that introduce the where you can find us, and then Francisco will do his, and then we'll play the outro that has our pre-recorded stuff afterwards. And then that'll be how the show ends. We're all good?
Good.
Okay, we're just waiting on Jacob now. You can put the thumbs up down now. Yes, C. Tungsten, you could be spoiled, which would suck. If your thing will ever load over there.
Yes.
Yeah, Paul, we were just talking that y'all's next movie is Lilo and Stitch.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Jacob may have to show up for that one,
I
at least in the chat.
Hint. I love me some Lilo and Stitch. Heck, I was at a Young Living conference and saw they had a Disney store. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to this store. I don't care.
Now, I do have a prediction about how Francisco will feel about the movie, since technically Lilo was a very disobedient child.
I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point. Total
And
classic,
it's
guys,
Disney.
right?
And it's
Right?
Disney.
Yeah.
So, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Absolutely.
that's 2 strikes.
The
for
makings of a
Francisco.
classic.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely a classic.
Oh my gosh, D. Tungsten. I was too busy making my dumb vampire thumb. I was missing chat. Oh my gosh. Yes, it would suck.
I even read that one.
Apparently I wasn't paying attention. All these movies haven't seen that. Well, I mean, maybe you don't mind so much, Ashley. I know there are some people that just don't care about being spoiled. Me and Paul are more in the camp of we don't if we're interested in a movie, like there's buzz about it and it sounds like a movie we want to see, we won't even see the trailer. But
See, that time when y'all do an episode on a movie I've never heard of or don't really care about, I just go ahead and listen to the episode anyway.
yes, if it's a movie, I don't
if
care
it's
about.
something I have been meaning to see and never got around to,
Mm-hmm,
I'll let the podcast rotation back up long enough for me to watch the movie, and then I'll play catch up for the next month.
Nice.
Okay, so here is a very important question when it comes to Vampire Hunter D.
42.
Does Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, is it a sequel or
I don't know anything
So-
about it.
I would say this. Oh my gosh, get out!
I
of
know
my
it's
face.
made by an entirely different animation studio.
right? But is it technically a sequel because I'm just trying to find something.
Google
Hold
time.
on, guys. I'm getting spam bot in my YouTube, so I'm just gonna shut that down. So hold on, please. La, 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 la. Oh, to answer your question, so you know how Vampire R&D takes place in the far future, like when things have just degraded. So he's lived, spoilers, like 10,000 years.
Yeah,
Or so. So just think of it's another like millennium in that time frame.
that's what I'm
It's just-
thinking.
yeah.
So it
So
probably,
same character, just another adventure.
So does
Yeah.
it take place? I assume sometime far past, like say where even the light novels are still. Because I mean, the guy's still writing the thing, still writing this franchise.
Oh, I don't think I realized that.
yeah, he's still writing the franchise
That's cool.
on the light novels.
Then I don't know. I have no answer
And
for that.
Amano's still doing the artwork for it. Okay, it is technically okay. I see. It is based on Vampire Hunter D Volume 3.
Yeah,
Demon Death Chase. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
just-
is technically a sequel. There's
Yes.
actually a missing story in between the two.
mm-hmm.
This
Oh,
one's
really
based on
cool.
the first book.
Yes, someone said the Millennium, Paul. I have the first manga. Oh, that's cool. Are you guys waiting on me, or are we still waiting on Jacob?
We're waiting on
No,
Jacob.
we're still waiting on me.
Okay, okay,
Jacob,
okay.
Jacob is the slowpoke at the moment.
No, that's
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
I didn't want you. I didn't want you guys to think I was still trying to get something together, and you were waiting on me.
No, that's not the thought at the moment.
All right.
All right,
Wow.
you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, you know what?
all right.
I'm not ready now. I need about an hour, and then I think I'll be
I was the
ready.
slow one here.
I have to wash my hair, guys. Sorry, I'm not camera ready.
He's got like a deep. He's
What,
got to do a
both
deep
of your
scrub
hairs?
apparently.
Both of your hair.
Oh my
burn.
gosh!
Wow, Drew.
Hey, I stole that from somebody
Oh, okay.
at church.
Because that makes it better.
Really?
It's a Christian joke, guys. So Jesus loved it.
I remember someone said, "Hey, did you get your hair cut?" He says, "Yeah, I got them both cut."
Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh
It's a
yes.
joke, but I mean,
Oh,
didn't hear
my
it at
gosh.
church, so
Last I have no idea. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Is this the animated Hugh Jackman? No, this is not the animated Hugh Jackman movie, Paul.
although I did like the Hugh Jackman vampire.
I liked
Hunter
it too.
movie.
The Van Helsing you're talking about?
Yeah, it's been a long
Yeah.
time since I've seen it, but I did.
Well,
I
same
did like
here.
it back in the day.
Mhm.
Now, bear in mind, I hadn't seen it in 15 years, so
I will bear that in mind.
all right.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Let's do this.
Yes.
Okay. let me
Or
get-
to quote a very famous TV show, let's rock it.
Because they're blasting off again.
Tim Ryan. I was about to say it.
No. It's a series you love,
Let's
but it's
rock it.
it's the American adaptation of that show.
Hang on.
Let's rock it.
That's an American adaptation. of it.
Digimon,
Nope.
G.I. Joe.
I'm sure at some point that was set in Power Rangers in space.
Yep.
but
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to also point out I never actually watched Power Rangers in space.
Me either.
It was a
Stopped in
good
the middle of-
series. I was very surprised by it.
As a child, I stopped at Turbo because Turbo was so dumb.
Fair.
I stopped at the original pretty much after. I think when the movie happened, I never saw the movie, and I never really went past that.
Well, the movie is actually a different continuity from the show, unlike the second movie, which is in continuity with the show.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Which-
Okay.
How would anybody outside of the fandom know this? And then the third movie is an entirely different thing. So
There's a
anyway.
third movie?
yeah, the one that came out back,
Oh, gosh,
the
that
reboot.
heap.
The reboot. The
Reboot.
reboot. Yes.
The reboot heap.
which was not bad, it just wasn't good.
Yeah. How many times can we promote this certain donut franchise?
Hey, that just shows
Donut?
you the downfall of America because the big hangout for the Power Rangers in the first season was a juice bar, and now we're going to Krispy Kreme. It's just sugar going from sugar water to just plain eating sugar.
Yeah, that's true. The part of that movie that just absolutely made me laugh out loud was the fact be like they stopped everything. Rita is walking down the street. She goes into the Krispy Kreme, sits down, eats a donut, and then it picks back up. It's like,
That was
what the heck?
moment in the movie.
I was like, okay, I understand you need to promote Krispy Kreme, but let's not make a commercial out of it.
That's not the worst. Rephrase. That's not the worst product placement we've seen this week.
Okay, remind me.
Addams Family 2. The progressive billboard that they smashed through.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Full screen for like a second, and then the Addams Family crashed through it. It's like, okay. Anywho.
Yes.
Are we ready to start? I already said this once.
I told you I need an hour, guys. Gosh,
Anyway.
I'm a diva.
I should have known. We had to reschedule just for you.
I chihuahua that hurt.
And now Jacob's hurting himself.
Wait, what happened?
That's what I'd like to know.
I
myself.
can't say on air.
Oh, okay.
Something. I was holding my iPad with a. Hold on, let me grab it.
Yeah, we are a family-friendly stream.
Yes. So I was holding my iPad in place with this.
Ow!
Yeah, and it slipped and it hit where a certain
let's
section.
leave it there. Let's leave it
And it's
there.
like,
Toe. It hurt your toe. Oh my gosh, that would hurt a lot.
yeah. Just a little further up the toe.
The sad
foot?
thing is, we're gonna have to talk about that in a couple weeks because of one of the movies we're doing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What?
Drew just pointed this out because we're doing November with
We
Miyazaki
do
month.
Miyazaki month every November, or Miyazaki and Ghibli month.
Yeah.
The next movie in that is Pom Poko, which has got the entire cast is full of Tanukis. And culturally, Tanukis are known for.
I forget what a tanuki is. I feel like I should know, but it
A
sounds
raccoon
familiar.
dog is the actual animal.
Which is what Super Mario and Super Mario 3. That's what.
Yeah,
it turns
Right,
into.
but
Okay,
one thing they
that's-
left out of Super Mario 3 is
Yeah,
the
that.
main thing Tanukis are known for in Japan.
Their ears.
No.
Yes, their ears.
Yes, we'll go with their ears.
Their ears.
Their ears.
Their soulful
Their
voices.
giant ears.
They have Princess Leia ears.
That's going to make the movie
Wow.
Red also very interesting.
Her?
The one.
Oh my
Is
gosh!
that Pixar?
Yeah, going red or
Turning Red. Or
turning
something
red.
Like
Oh my gosh!
that? We just,
Thankfully, she's female.
yes. Well, moving on. Let's not go there. Let's just
Yeah,
do
let's
the
not go
episode.
there. Let's
We
go
have
into the
already
show,
digressed
period.
enough.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway,
Anyways, yes.
I'm going to go ahead and hit the button if we're good.
Hit the button. Not that button.
Wrong button.
Cartoons, the animated frontier. These are the voyages of the Cellcast podcast. Its continuing mission to explore strange new cartoons, to seek out new animation styles and new creative storytelling methods, to boldly go where so few ever go again.
It fouled up because I got a Facebook notification.
Take two. You got a
And I
notification.
didn't have the phone technically on silent, so that's why the audio went out and came back in.
Cartoons, the animated frontier. These are the voyages of the Cellcast podcast. Its continuing mission to explore strange new cartoons, to seek out new animation styles and new creative storytelling methods, to boldly go where so few ever go again.
episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who, he was just out patrolling last night and he got attacked by something in the middle of the night. Welcome, Jacob.
La-di-da-di-da. No. Ah, crap, I got bit by a vampire again.
Again?
Yeah. This is twice in 2 months.
I would think the werewolf curse would fight that off a little
That
bit.
is true. Come on, guys, really? Why, thank you. And let me introduce our co-host, a man who is restraining his inner vampire urges. Welcome, Drew.
Well, I would say I want to suck your blood, blah, blah, blah. But in the previous movie we says the Dracula doesn't say blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
But anyway, joining us this episode, we've got a man who, he requested me say to let you all know that he sucks. Welcome, Francisco.
Hello, Drew and Jacob. I am Francisco, the vampire.
And I'm gonna be done with that voice now. Hello, well, thank you guys for having me on.
Not a problem, man.
He's the vampire captain.
Yes,
Captain Vampire.
Captain
at
Vampire.
times, at times.
Vampire Captain F?
Sure, we'll go with
Go.
that. That has a nice ring to it, though. My middle name's Javier with an X, so let's go with Vampire
That does
Captain
sound cooler.
X.
There we
Sound
go.
cooler. Anyway,
Very nice.
how are y'all doing?
Doing quite well. How about you guys?
I was slightly frazzled for a second, but I'm doing much better now. Thank you very much.
Because your toe got hurt, right?
Yes, my
Before
toe got hurt.
pre-show?
Your toe
Yeah,
got hurt.
that
my toe got
frazzled
hurt
me
a minute
too.
ago.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's good. Work is interesting like usual. And I'm trying to, work on more art projects. And yeah, I'm good. How about you, Drew?
It's been an interesting week.
I completely agree.
That's not the most I want to get into it. It's just been really, it's just been interesting. But I am definitely ready to get into reviewing this one.
Yes.
Sweet.
So, Jacob, you want to start the interrogation?
Sure. All right. So is there...
I didn't bring any holy water. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the steak?
Medium rare, please.
All right. So as everybody knows, on this show, whenever we have a guest, we have a little rapid fire questionnaire. So in the spirit of Halloween month here in October on the Cellcast, I'm going to ask Francisco a few questions regarding Halloween.
Here we
movies.
go.
All right. So Francisco,
Jacob.
if you were to, what is your favorite vampire-based movie? And it can't be Vampire Hunter D.
Can't be Bloodlust.
No.
Can't be connected to the franchise.
Favorite vampire
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. In general.
And we're talking like legit vampires, not like aliens or something that has a vampiric bent. Like you could say, I think in Life Force, the movie Life Force, she sucks your life essence out of you. So that is in a way a type of vampirism. You're talking about like the fangs, the capes, all that.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Vampires in general.
Classical vampire.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
So yeah, that leaves Twilight out also.
yeah, we're talking classical vampire. We're talking actual vampires.
Yeah.
Yes,
Vampires.
yes.
Oh man, I am not prepared for this. I don't know why I'm struggling right now. Jeez.
That's like 9/10 of the reason for this.
Oh, gosh.
Breathe. Drink some blood.
Okay. So I will say Vampire D Bloodlust would probably be at the top of the list.
Okay.
But I remember it's been years and years since I've seen it, but I remember like in Underworld with Kate Beckinsale.
Okay.
I did like no, I'll go with Van Helsing. That was more fun, I think. The Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale movie.
Okay.
So I'll go with Van Helsing.
The vampire in that movie made me laugh out loud. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the vampire!"
The villain from Moulin
Yes.
Rouge.
Huh?
You're talking about in Van Helsing?
Yes.
So that actor was also played the villain in Moulin Rouge. If you
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Moulin Rouge.
Oh, it's good. It's a good movie.
It is. I agree. Okay. Next.
All right. Okay. So if you were transported into a animated world with vampires, and you had to bring one character with you from the animated multiverse
Oh, okay.
of like any, if we're talking anime, we're talking cartoon, we're like TV series, animated American cartoons, whatever. You had to bring one character with you.
Ooh.
What character would you bring?
Oh gosh, that's tough. So I first go to possibly Link from Legend of Zelda. That's he's up there because he'd say like, "Excuse me, vampire." I also like.
Well, depending on how far up that vampire is in nobility into his gender, he could actually say, "Excuse me, princess."
That's true. Good point. I also really like Naofumi from Rising of the Shield Hero. That's a good one.
Yeah.
He certainly could. I'm sure he could defend me from most vampires. Oh no! I got one. Here we go. Oh geez, I can't remember his name. You all in chat, like Ashley, D. Tungsten, Paul, you'll know. But the main character from Dr. Stone, because he could come up with a cure for vampirism.
Yeah, and it would only take 10 episodes for him to actually get it made.
10 episodes. It's fine.
A show I know very little about.
Oh, so good.
A show that I watched like all of season 1 during Snowpocalypse because I had nothing else to do. But it's a good show. It was just that happened to be my show that week.
I want to say his name's Senku or something like that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's like Senku, I believe.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, he just lets you when he gets happy, he tells you to get excited. I'm surprised, Francisco, that you left off what I feel is an obvious one. You didn't say Simon Belmont from Captain N the Game Master.
Oh my gosh.
Does he did appear in that?
See, this is why I need Paul here. Because he would not have missed a beat. That's the perfect answer. What am I thinking?
Oh my gosh.
I know he's in one episode. That's as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
No, he's one of the core team. So he's in.
I never actually got a chance to watch Captain N. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was off the air by the time I was old enough for it to be on TV here. So.
Okay. Yeah, I know him, Mega Man, and a princess. I forget if it's Princess Peach or Daisy, but they were like the core team, and then they would see other characters. Yeah.
Kid Icarus.
I just know that.
Kid
Mother
Icarus.
Brain was technically the villain, and that was the weirdest low designed version of Mother Brain I'd ever seen.
Gosh, that gave me nightmares as a kid.
Yes, because that's obviously what the designers of the game intended.
Yes. Oh my gosh, those lips.
You got anything else?
What were they thinking?
Questions.
Huh?
If you got any other questions? I got some. I might have some.
Okay, take it away.
Tag team. Here we go.
Yeah.
People's elbow.
Tag over the rope.
Okay, Francisco. Here's a tough one for you. What's your favorite candy?
We talking like candy bar or just anything? Any candy?
Anything that you would expect to show up in a trick or treat bucket.
Oh, okay. Nutrageous. I love Nutrageous. And I can't seem to find them anymore. So Nutrageous. Reese's Nutrageous.
Assuming that budget is not an issue, who would you like to dress up for Halloween?
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this because I have to play to my attributes, which in this case it's my hair, not so much my height. But I'm Drew roasting Francisco. Look at me.
I
on
am
a
just
stick.
helping to paint the picture for our auditory listeners.
Hey! For all they know, I'm 7'2". They don't need to know these things.
He has an afro.
Yeah, and I have an afro exactly. And I'm so stacked over here. No,
You and D are just like twins on screen.
Like Arnold and Dan DeVito. Is that where
Exactly.
twins?
You're
Okay.
perfectly twins.
Oh my gosh.
Or like,
So-
Kermit the Frog and Fozzie Bear
Oh gosh.
in Great Muppet Caper.
Yes.
I can't remember his name, but in Cowboy Bebop, Spike's friend who sort of owns the ship that they fly around in.
Jet Black?
What was his name?
Jet Black.
Yeah, that sounds right. So I could grow his facial hair pretty well and have it like look like that, and I have sort of a bald head. So his height, it would be an issue, but I guess I'd costume up that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do that.
That'd be nice.
I know what you mean playing towards physical attributes, because pretty much the only person I can dress up as is Mario.
Okay. Yeah, I could see you as a good Mario.
He's got the
I've
stash.
got the stash, as you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
plainly see. I actually do own a red hat, a red Mario hat,
Nice.
and I own the overalls. I just need to get a long sleeved red shirt, and I'll be in good shape.
There you go.
But I'm also too lazy to go to that much trouble.
I'm sure if I had Team Womp on it, I'd get it right away.
No. Mario's not on Team Womp. He's on Team Mario.
But you'd be covering the red shirt with the overalls, so it doesn't matter. That's just a way to get the red shirt.
Anyway,
That's fine.
that's
So
all I had.
I do have one final question. What was your favorite? If you were allowed, be like, I don't know, your childhood. Were you allowed to grow up?
Was he allowed to
Trick
grow
or
up? I
treat?
would hope
No. Be like trick
Yeah,
or
yes.
treating. Were you allowed to dress up?
Yes. Mhm.
What-
Yes,
what
I
was your-
was.
What was your favorite costume when you were a kid?
Well, the one I remember the most vividly was as Voltron. And so,
Okay.
but it's mainly just like like a half Voltron mask. It wasn't like a full helmet or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like a smock that I think had it was like one of those plastic films that you wear. And
I know the kind you're talking about.
yeah. And it didn't like have a picture of Voltron on it. It was like looked like the chest of Voltron.
I got you.
But and I don't think it had any of the like lion claws or anything. But I remember liking
Kinda
that so
like-
much because I was
Kind of like
really,
the Optimus Prime costumes you see at Walmart nowadays.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Yes. So I think that one, just because that's the one I have a memory of, and also I remember for some reason my mom was a vampire, a bit like a Count Dracula-esque character for that Halloween too. So
Oh,
it's a nice
cool.
memory. Yeah.
Going back to the like dressing up as a character.
Mhm.
I remember because my mom always made like homemade costumes, like every year. Be like, I remember going around as a ghost, and it was literally they threw a white bag over us and propped out the eyes. We were ghosts. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like, obviously, you're working off a budget, but I found that hilarious in
That's-
retrospect.
That's better than doing with the standard white sheet, because then you just ruin a bed sheet.
That is true.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm.
true. If I was to dress up today as an adult, I would probably, because I love archery. I'm an archery nut. I love archery.
Mm-hmm.
I
Me
would
too.
definitely.
I didn't know this. I love archery too.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I've always loved archery. If it's Legolas, if it's Hunger Games, definitely Arrow from CW. I would definitely go as Green Arrow from like season 5 because I love that suit.
So I don't know if you actually shoot bow and arrows. Do you like compound, recurve? What's your What's your-
Compound.
compound? Okay, see, I'm a recurve
Oh, okay.
guy, but
I like recurves because I've shot recurves,
Mhm.
but I like just compound.
totally.
I
Very
prefer a
cool.
12 gauge shotgun.
That's
I'm
true.
I'm gonna stomp all over your archery talk right now.
I'm just jacking with you, dude.
I know.
Anyway,
Yeah,
My voice is just jacking with you, Drew. We're all having fun here.
yeah,
my
exactly.
question is, who's Jack? Because he keeps interrupting this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, does he have like
Didn't-
24 hours to do something else somewhere else?
I don't know. Hey, we got anything else?
No,
All right.
I think Jack drowned in the Atlantic though.
What?
Too soon.
Titanic, Jack.
Oh
I
gosh.
still haven't watched that movie.
Me either, but I know the movie. I own the film. I just haven't watched it. No, okay, seriously. There was we were doing a Bible study yesterday at church,
Mhm.
and I'm single, but I'm in a marriage class. I'm in a marriage
Okay.
class learning about marriage.
Yeah, cool.
Yesterday, that would have been Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday. Well, that's what I'm for.
Yesterday was the singles.
Yeah,
Bible
that is
study. I was
true.
there.
That is true. But Wednesday night we were doing a marriage, and it's a book based off. So what did you expect? It's a book. It's a book based, and we're talking about what your favorite romantic comedies were, and I think someone piped up Titanic, and like everybody was like,
A romantic
"Oh."
comedy?
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know.
A romance movie, but not romantic comedy.
Yeah,
Romantic
romance movie or romantic comedy.
I love when Jack froze. That is so hilarious.
It was so middle.
Especially since there was plainly enough room on that board.
Absolutely.
For him to climb up on.
Very
But
true.
Rose wouldn't move out of the way.
Way. Come on, Rose. Quit being selfish. Let Jack on the deck.
I still haven't seen the movie. I've just seen pictures.
Oh my goodness.
I love history, so
Uh-huh.
they're like the Titanic. I love when I learned about it when I was a kid. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta learn more.
yeah.
I was a kid. It'd be like I would go to the library and I would find every Titanic book and I would try to read them. Yeah, granted, I grew up with a reading disorder and I still have a reading disorder,
Mhm.
so those were fun. I was like, oh okay, oh pretty picture. Wait, pretty picture. What am I reading?
I need to look up an animated movie to threaten you with now.
Oh,
In the same vein as Food Fight, but it is actually. based
oh
on Titanic.
no,
I
no,
know
no,
two
no, no.
films.
Oh, brother. Either
You just reminded me of them. That's your fault.
agreed. So either way, I love history. When I learned about the Titanic disaster, and I was like, "Ooh, I've got to learn more," because
Mhm.
I've watched like every documentary there is about this disaster. I haven't watched the movie yet. That's
I mean,
weird.
Well, it's not a historical.
It's not completely historically accurate.
Yeah.
They get the best information they had in 1997, I believe.
Which was only like, what, 12 years after they found the ship again?
1985.
Yeah, because I would have been 12.
Yeah, roughly.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm a nerd like that. I love history and I love that kind of stuff.
So we're here
yeah.
to review Titanic tonight.
Apparently,
I don't think I'm very prepared for that, but I can give it a shot.
Hey,
Kate
Rose,
Winslet
hey,
was-
my heart
was
will
pretty
go
good.
on.
Ironically,
Oh my God.
ironically, we're all in the same boat.
But I'm
Anyway, Francisco, what have you been watching?
Drew, I have been watching you guys and yucking it up. Let's see. TV wise, I've been watching Manifest, which was I
Ooh,
think
good one.
and yeah, I finished the second season. I'm just about to start the third one. It's gotten really good. Really enjoying it. So and I believe Ashley here in chat turned me on to it, and I believe she said that. So I may be misquoting you, Ashley, or Jacob, if you know, that it's Netflix is gonna greenlight or has greenlit a final conclusion, because apparently it doesn't really wrap up in the third season. So
I
I'm glad-
haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised how well received that show was,
Mhm.
because a fellow church member turned me on to Manifest, and he was
Oh,
just like,
cool.
"Dude, this is amazing series." And I watched like the first two and a half episodes, and it was like, "Wow, this is really good."
Mm-hmm.
I was blown away.
I think it'd be so funny. And Jacob, if you ever find this, or anyone else who watches Manifest listening to this, if you ever find a supercut on YouTube of everyone saying, "I think it's a calling. Do you have a calling? I have a calling. Was it a calling?" Just like all of them together, I think it'd be ridiculously funny for some reason.
Okay.
But let's see, what else have I been watching? Still watching. I last time I was on, I mentioned watching Troll Hunters with my kids. Still watching that. We're closing out season 3, which is when the next sort of series starts. So it's just gotten better and better. It's such a good series. I highly recommend it to
I need to
anyone.
get back into it because I've watched like all of the first season. I need
Oh,
I need to get back to it.
It gets even better. Oh, yeah. I mean, the one thing I found out third season, they changed the voice of the main actor, of the main character, Jake. I'm like, oh, come on, don't tell me they like fired him or
There's
there's
actually a very
just-
sad reason for that.
yes. Oh, so you know. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
Drew. What was-
You don't think I know about Anthony Yelchin dying?
I didn't know that was his name. I didn't know who
As in
voiced.
Chekhov?
Yeah,
Really?
Chekhov, exactly.
Yeah, the Chekhov from the Abramsverse movies. He's the voice.
Oh,
of the
okay.
main
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah,
It
That's
was.
why they had to change the voice for him.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Troll Hunters.
And
That
they
makes
figured
sense.
out an in-universe way of doing it, but I was like, oh man, I
At
like
least-
the.
At least they didn't just change it and expect you to deal. 'Cause
Mhm,
A
mhm.
lot of times with the kid shows, that's what they'll do.
Yeah, exactly. No, this was nice. They made a in-universe reason for it, which was
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And they're not afraid to, and it makes sense all the more because they flash back to past episodes and it's the old voice, so it makes sense that it's like, oh yeah, because he hadn't had his change yet, so
Right.
Yeah.
it's good.
That's kind of like I think it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2013-2012 series. They
Oh,
have
yeah,
one-
didn't Leonardo have a voice change or something?
yeah, because they changed over to Seth Green.
yeah.
It's
I
like
like-
literally, yeah,
Do you know
literally in
why?
the third season, because apparently the original actor got fired for some reason. I can't remember why, but then they brought in Seth Green, and they made the perfect transition to where by the end of season 2, Leo had gotten beat up, and they get back to the old farm, and Leo is having a problem with his voice, and when he starts talking, he sounds like Seth Green.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, man, like what's wrong with my voice? They make
That's
this
fine.
really interesting shift pattern
Good.
where
I'm
it
glad-
where it sounds like his old self, but now
Mhm.
he sounds like his Seth Green version,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
really
totally.
interesting.
Cool. Okay. I haven't watched that much of that series.
Oh, it's
I've
so
only
good.
watched. So I know. I watched like half of the first season and I love it, but I never finished it for whatever reason.
Oh yes, season 3 gets good,
Mhm.
and then it's like the end of season 3. Then season 3 is good. I haven't watched all of it, but it's so good. It's such
Okay.
a good series.
Nice.
It's on Hulu if you have Hulu.
The only other thing I'll add since it's Halloweeny is I recently watched John Carpenter's The Fog.
Oh, okay.
And I enjoyed it. I was like sometimes with like supernatural horror I tend to stay away from, but I like John Carpenter's movies so much, all the ones I've seen, that I wanted to be a little bit of a completionist. So I was like, okay, I'll see how this is, and it wasn't too bad. I was not. Sometimes I don't know if you guys have this experience. I call them like sticky horror movies, where after you watch it, like it's the images are just like keep oppressing you throughout the night while you're trying to sleep, and you don't like want to walk around in the dark. You don't want to like look over the covers because you're thinking something's gonna jump out at you. So I didn't have any of that with The Fog. I thought it was a fun movie, a bit too fast paced. I felt like let's slow down and breathe some here, John, but this is fine. But it's free if you're curious about it. It's sort of like a pirate ghost story is how I'll phrase it, and you can watch it for free now on Tubi.tv if you're interested.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I don't have that sticky movie problem you have, Francisco, for one very, very good reason.
Oh,
I don't watch those kind of movies
well, there you go. Then you don't have an issue.
because I'm not a fan of horror.
Then why
Yeah.
did you watch this movie?
This is not really horror. This is more thriller. There's a
All
difference.
Thriller action kind of movie
I
that
guess. Yeah,
has
it's-
horror elements
Yes.
built in.
very fair.
This movie wasn't trying to scare me, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So it failed. You're mocking the movie for not scaring you. Wow.
No,
Wow.
no,
Drew.
no. I don't like stuff that tries to scare me because most of the time either that's all the movie is doing and there's almost no story,
Yes.
or I have a bad tendency to see through like scares sometimes. Not intentionally, it's just how I am. So I'm already, before the jump scare happens, I already know what's coming just because of how I tend to watch movies.
That makes sense.
And so, and on the off chance one of those things does actually get me, I don't want to deal with that. So, I mean, the worst things I have watched of that type of genre would have been when we watched Halloween,
Which I
and
love.
Candyman.
Oh my gosh, Candyman.
I don't want to see Candyman. I'm not. I something about me like looking into mirrors and like summoning things. I just sort of
I'm
creeps me
not
out.
going to suggest. See, here's the thing. I actually, from a story perspective, I preferred Candyman to Halloween.
Okay.
Because the first Halloween has no story, in my opinion.
What? How dare you?
You.
Drew?
I've mentioned this. It's on
You
the
have.
show.
I know. Well, it's
It has-
bears mentioning that. How dare you trample upon the good name of John Carpenter? How dare you?
Mm.
I'm-
But in contrast, at least
Uh-huh.
the original Candyman had a good story to it.
Okay, well
but
that's
it's
cool.
not, it's not one I want to watch again.
Right.
Totally
and
fair.
let's
Totally
and once we kind of separated from the other show, which we've not officially announced, that's actually one of the movies I was glad I didn't have to go watch.
Right.
fair. Very fair.
Now, granted, like Candyman, I liked it more for the like you could tell what was going on in the story, but I think for me, I love the like Candyman's backstory because that's always interesting. The
Mhm.
second one, not so much. It was like, oh, okay, that's a little much of a stretch. But John Carpenter's Halloween, what was it, 1968? 68, 78? One of those?
It was. Oh no,
probably.
it was like I think it was 78 because The Fog was 1980.
Yeah, it was
And
you know
I think The
1978.
Fog was
I
right after.
love that movie. It's a movie I asked for for Christmas last year, and they got it for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this movie.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
I haven't
When
seen
we
it in a
watched
long
that-
time. I want to rewatch it.
When we watched that reboot of Halloween, I did like that.
Yeah,
There
that's a
was
good one.
Story, but the first one, I was just like, it's just her running away from a guy in a Captain Kirk mask.
It's about the atmosphere. Drew.
Exactly, and the tension and the drama and everything.
And I don't like any of these characters, so why should I care?
Ugh.
If I was on the Retro Rewind podcast for an episode on that, it would be tragic for me because I just didn't enjoy myself.
Wow.
I wasn't
Wow.
scared. I was just like,
Well,
it's teenagers running away from a guy in a mask. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I finally got around to watching Halloween 2 because I found it on sale. I was like, oh, why not?
The one in the
most-
hospital.
Yeah, in the hospital. The most boring movie on the planet. There's one good, interesting scene, but everything else is like, okay, cookie cutter. This is nothing like the original because apparently John Carpenter was under the influence of alcohol when he was writing this.
So, well,
Some-
that may be a piece of it. If you, I'd be happy to continue this Halloween discussion. I will say, if you want a sort of a good overview of all the Halloween movies from the first one through to the 2018 reboot or
Mhm.
continuation, depending on how you want to look
Continuation.
at it.
Technically, it's the second movie now.
Yeah. I would suggest the YouTube channel In Praise of Shadows. They have a really good retrospective that goes through them and talks about some of the behind the scenes production and why certain movies were the way, like why Halloween 3 is so different from the rest and all of that. So it's a good overview of all of that if you're curious.
Yeah, what was that called again?
In Praise of Shadows. Another video I'd recommend there is one where they talk about old horror book covers, like from the 70s, 80s, versus the ones today. I thought it was just I have a semi-graphic design background, so I was very interested in that and how they changed and shifted. And
Mhm.
so if you're into art history, like contemporary art history or graphic design, I would suggest that video as well.
Alrighty.
Nice.
This
Anything
was the recommended portion of the Cellcast, right?
In a sense, that's kind of what we've been watching is. Anything else you've been watching?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably, but I don't recall. So
Okay.
we'll go with that.
Jacob?
Well, Francisco, you did mention you were going through a John Carpenter phase of like watching his films. Well, oddly enough, I was going through a Ridley Scott going through some of his film by pure accident.
Oh, cool.
So last week I watched The Martian. And that's
Oh,
good.
really?
Oh my gosh, I love The Martian. It's so good.
Have you read the book?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I love it. It was so good. Because of my reading disorders, I primarily will listen to it and read it.
Mm,
And it's, oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah.
And then Ridley Scott and then Matt Damon was just like, mwah, perfect.
Yes.
It was such a good,
I did
such
like
a good
that,
movie.
yeah.
And then recently I was watching the director's cut of Legend.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yes. I love that movie is so underrated. You know, not granted, it is a cult classic now, but it's so good. And the funny part if you're a movie buff, the fact that Ridley Scott accidentally burned down the James Bond stage.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yes.
Now. Yes.
They took up the entire stage floor to build the forest, and for some reason something caught and it burned the entire stage down.
Wow. See, this is why you film on location in a mystical forest.
Yeah, the only problem is they couldn't find anything they liked.
That's
Whatever.
because they hadn't found their way down to New Zealand yet.
Yeah, that's
good
true.
point. Good point.
Good point.
If there is a mystical forest somewhere in this world, it's probably in New Zealand.
That is true.
Yeah. Quick question, does the director's cut for that? I haven't seen it. Does it have the Tangerine Dream soundtrack?
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
it has
more
the
orchestral?
original soundtrack.
Okay, cool.
And it's good. Now, granted, you have the kind of a spoiler if you haven't seen Legend. If you haven't seen Legend, what are you doing? Go watch Legend. It's a good film.
I haven't seen it. Continue.
Okay. La-di-da-di-da. The main villain, Darkness, voiced and played by the amazing Tim Curry. It's just like phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
He is good.
Yeah, just amazing. The apparently in the original, I think it was the American version, they show him first, and it's just like it blows the entire, because it's in the director's cut, you don't see him, you hear him. And you see his hand and you see his shadow and everything. It's just like so menacing when you finally do see him. He literally comes through a mirror. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen a version where that's not the case. So I think the original theatrical version, it showed Darkness in the original theatrical cut. Okay.
Early on. Because I remember watching that one first.
Okay.
Because I made that mistake of watching, I think it was the director's cut of Alien 3 or Alien 2 first. And everyone was like, what do you do? You got to watch the theatrical first. So I watched the theatrical first.
No, you don't. You can watch
you don't have to go by other people's rules.
I know.
You can watch the director's.
I still want to go back and watch every version of Blade Runner.
Oh my gosh. That's a good movie too.
But I've only seen the final cut. So
yeah,
I think
that's
that's
a good
all
movie.
you need. I don't think you need.
That's probably is all you need. But I actually do want to hear how bad the narration is. Of the
all right, that's fair. That's fair. That was the first version I saw with the narration, but yeah, I definitely like the final cut version better.
Yeah, I love Ridley Scott. His brother, who sadly passed away.
Tony,
Tony Scott. Top Gun. Oh my gosh. That days, I think it was, yeah.
Looking forward to that movie.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Please come quickly.
The new
Top
one?
Gun Maverick.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brother Jim. We formerly did the Movie of the Week podcast with, and Jim he had this theory for years. And it's to him it made sense, but it makes no sense. So the fact that he believed that Scott was he did not want to do another film with Tom Cruise, that he ended his own life. I'm like, what? Yeah, that's what he thought for years.
I don't
that Tony
so.
Scott ended his life because he didn't want to walk with Tom Cruise, which is completely false.
He didn't do any other movies with Tom Cruise. Like, that was the only one, and he made several movies after that without Tom Cruise. So I don't think that
it was more because the idea of doing another Top Gun, that his idea that Tony Scott was I can't do anything else with Tom Cruise, so he tragically ended his life. It's like, no, the guy was dying from cancer, and plus they were already in like post production of working on Top Gun Maverick. Like years in production, years in talks and all that. So yeah, when my brother told me that, I'm like, no, that's not the way it worked.
Yeah.
But there again, that was the weird thing that someone told me. Yeah.
It stuck with you.
Yeah, it stuck with me. And I was just like, no.
Shenanigans.
Exactly. Complete shenanigans. Yeah. So either way, PSA, believe me, if you are suffering from suicide, please talk to somebody. Please, we beg of you, please talk to somebody. If you are dealing with suicidal thoughts, please either A, go to someone that you trust, or B, you're a Christian, pray about it, and then go talk to a Christian leader or your pastor.
Yeah.
Please, we beg of you, do not do anything.
And you can also call the National Suicide Prevention
Exactly.
Lifeline, which is 1-800-273-8255.
Excellent. Thank you, Francisco.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, that is all I've been watching. What have you been watching, Drew?
Well, I saw 3 movies last weekend.
Yes, I heard about this.
First off, I went and saw Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a fairly good film. It was not great,
Mhm.
but it was fairly good. And I'll say, if you are keeping up with certain other franchises, you may at least want to go to see the after credits scene. That's all I'm going to say there.
Wait, nunchuck.
Also, of course, we watched The Addams Family 2
Two.
that we did a reaction episode on
Mhm.
that we released earlier in the week. And then the very next day, I went and saw No Time to Die,
Oh.
the new James Bond movie.
Da, da,
Oh,
da, da.
it is so good. If you've kept up with the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, you need to go see this if you're on the fence for some reason, because it is the perfect ending of this era.
Two years in the waiting.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the film they had to re-record all the product placement scenes because they were too old because of COVID.
Wow.
Wow.
The weirdest reason for pickup scenes I've ever heard. but,
Yes.
you know, I'll go with
Wow.
it. So yeah, I saw those, and then the only other thing I've really gotten around to watching is, with the upcoming Netflix version of Cowboy Bebop, I thought I might want to go back and watch the original.
Yes.
Since I've never watched it all the way through straight.
Yeah.
I've only caught what was originally showing on Cartoon Network back in the day, and only then, you catch something on TV
Mhm.
and you don't have a VCR where you can use it.
Record it.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in
Yeah.
the day, I didn't have that capability at the time because I didn't have a VCR in my room. But I've got the Blu-ray, and I'm going back through it right now because I want
Nice.
to watch.
Yeah.
I need to watch the whole thing anyway
Yeah, it's good.
because I've just never seen every episode in the order it's supposed to occur in,
Right.
and I want to do that before the new trailer comes out.
Mhm, mhm.
Plus, of course, I've been watching Marvel's What If, which has been good, and Star Trek Lower Decks season 2, which we intended to cover
Yes.
on animated series, but life did not work out that way.
Nope.
We will come back. We'll get to it
Don't
eventually.
worry,
Um,
Drew. I've been told life finds a way. So
Yes, life
it's gonna
does.
Oh
be fine.
my
Life
gosh.
does find a way. But we are going to start re-releasing the Tangled season 2 episodes again shortly. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so I did want to bring this because I was thinking about this earlier. It's another movie conundrum.
Mhm.
So you were talking about life finds a way. So
Mhm.
I started thinking about Jurassic World, primarily Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Mhm.
Now
I
everybody,
have
most
problems
people,
with the movie, but continue.
Huh?
I have problems with the movie, but continue.
yes, believe me, I have problems with it too. So I have severe problems with this film. You have the fact you're like, okay, it's basically like they copy what they did in Lost World a little bit, like
Really?
the basic beats of the movie,
Kind of.
kind of. Let's rip some of it off.
I guess I can kind of see that. All right.
I
fair.
don't know why you would,
Yeah.
to be honest, because Lost World is not that good a movie.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
Then,
it's not
it's-
as bad as Jurassic Park 3.
The high top with the trailers are going to go off the cliff. That's amazing.
In my defense, I'm not a fan of Jeff Goldblum. However,
Fair. But the point I want to get to, because I started digging into this and it drove me nuts. So watching this film, so the dinosaurs are all trapped in this pen and this gas is released.
Mhm.
And they're like, it's like, if we don't get them out of time, we got to release them, otherwise they're going to die or something like that. And our little spoiler alert for Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, if you have not watched it yet, the little girl, she's actually a clone, and she feels sympathy for the dinosaurs. She lets them go. The only problem is all those dinosaurs should be deader than doornails at this second. And here's why: because
they
the,
breathed in too much of the gas.
Yeah, because the gas they described, I actually looked it up. For a full-grown adult male, it will kill in 2 minutes.
But these are dinosaurs. They're much bigger than adult males.
Yes, but it's known for killing large animals within 3 minutes. Or at least they don't kill them. You're going to have severe lung, heart, brain, vision, skin, everything. Basically, it's going to rack your body.
What if the super theme parkified versions of these dinosaurs have a very good immune system?
Yeah,
and it takes longer to
They were in there for 10 minutes.
Fight this gas and
See, what you guys don't realize.
5 other problems with the movie that are worse than that.
Yeah,
so.
agreed.
What you guys don't realize is dinosaurs are extinct. So all those dinosaurs are of the undead, much like this movie.
Undead dinosaurs.
Undead dinosaurs. Okay.
Why is that not an actual movie?
So the reason I bring that up, I'm more curious how are they going to deal with that issue, plus the girl letting these dinosaurs loose onto the world, who dinosaurs would never be didn't roam this world for another 10,000 years or something like that.
Dude,
or depends on how your viewpoint is.
I have the answer for you.
Movie?
Get King Kong off of Skull Island. He can take him out.
That is true.
He stood toe to toe with Godzilla twice.
That is true.
He can take care of a couple of dinosaurs that are small enough.
That
to
is
take him up and
true.
use him as back scratchers.
Yeah, my question would be, going back to the movie at hand, how in Jurassic World Domination, I believe it's the new one.
I don't know. I'm
may be
paying
mistaken.
attention to Jurassic World right now.
So in the sequel, in the third one, it's how are they going to if they deal with it at all? Because I guarantee it's we got to save the dinosaurs. Where's Blue? And then we're doing a cameo from the original actors, the original characters. What, are they going to be there for 3 seconds?
You know where Blue is? Leaving clues.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
I would pay to see a Blue's Clues with that Velociraptor as Blue.
I want to break in real quick and say this doesn't have to do with Fallen Kingdom, but anyone who is a fan of the original Jurassic World or just likes the Jurassic Park mythos, another really good show on Netflix is called Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah,
which is essentially this camp of kids and it's an all CG animated TV series or Netflix series. It takes place during the events of the original Jurassic World. Yeah. So they're on the other side of the island while things are going crazy in the main park, and there are all these sort of touch points of overlap with if I saw the movie, this is when that's happening. Now this is
that's
happening.
nice.
Oh. So it's a good series, man. My kids also like that one as well. So if you're a Jurassic Park fan, the first couple episodes are you're getting to know all the characters. All right. But after you get into it and know who everyone is, it's a fun show. I'd say a little kiddier than Troll Hunters, but it's still, I think, worth your time.
All right,
good deal. So now we got that rabbit trail chased.
What do we got in the news?
All right, so news-wise. All right, so we've talked about this on the show before. Clifford the Big Red Dog, the live-action movie, is coming out. Yes, it has a new release date of November 10th. They've released a new trailer, which is very funny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. So we have that, which we plan on doing a review of that. We've talked about it. So yeah, there's the plans of doing that. So Disney Plus. This one was oh my gosh, that when will this Frozen train ever end?
We just let it go and move on.
Apparently not. All right, so Disney Plus and
also, I'd like to point out your mean bringing up Frozen while Francisco's on, but anyway.
So Disney Plus and the Walt Disney Animation Studio unveiled the trailer for the new series of shorts starring Olaf from Frozen as he recreates moments from the Walt Disney animated classics such as The Little Mermaid, Mulan, The Lion King, Aladdin, and Tangled.
I have a better idea than using Olaf for this. Stitch.
Yes!
I have a better idea. John Carpenter.
That would be... Actually, no.
Halloween versions.
I want the guy from Ant-Man. I can't think of his name.
Luis.
Luis.
Luis, yes.
Oh, Luis, that'd be amazing. Like he retells the
Yes.
Yes.
stories. Oh my gosh, that'd be so great. Oh, please. I would
Oh
give
my
Disney
God.
Could
some
be
money
just
for
a
that.
YouTube channel of him just retelling any movie. I would watch it.
Yes.
So good. Oh, I would love that.
That actor could make a buttload of money doing that.
Agreed.
Yeah, Michael Pena, I think is his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, Michael Pena. Thank you. All right. So if you're interested in that short, it will be available for those who have subscriptions to Disney Plus on November 12th. So this one, I really enjoyed when I saw this one. The War for Eternity continues in the second part of Masters of the Universe Revelation, which is like, my childhood. Sorry, I get excited about Masters of the Universe.
The first season.
Huh?
Did you finish the first season? Is my
The first half of the first season.
Okay. I haven't watched it. I don't know.
So not to, if you have not watched Masters of the Universe Revelation, I know it's a hot button issue with a lot of people. I know that, but I actually really enjoyed it. But there again, if you haven't watched it and you're listening to like everybody's negativity about the show, like we always say, watch it and grasp your own opinion about what you're watching.
That's fair.
Have context of what you're talking about, because some people just go off on extremely stupid tangents about nothing.
Well, the internet.
I never
runs
do
on-
that.
I
Have you heard of
agree.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Yeah, see, I was going to just slide right past that, just saying that the internet runs on hate. But
Yeah, agreed. So
That's true.
Not to spoil, because if I read this out loud, it'll spoil the very end of the first part of the first
so
episode.
you're saying just go watch Eternia and get ready for season 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
If you are interested, it will debut on November 23rd. So yeah, I would definitely be watching, guys. I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. How do they bring back this character?
You know, I'm glad to hear. I've heard you and another person that watched it and really enjoyed it. I have no interest to see it, but
Fair.
I'm glad that it is finding an audience. That's
Yeah.
totally valid.
I'm always glad when a show finds an audience because I don't care about He-Man at all because I didn't grow up with He-Man, but I'm glad people enjoy it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, because there's such a like two different camps. There's people that they love it. They love this adaptation of it because it's supposed to be a continuation of the 1980s show.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that absolutely love it. I'm on that camp. I love this show to death. It was so great, character wise, story. The ending cliffhanger was like, but why did you have to make that character into the first thing you purchase as a toy? I was like, what were you thinking, Mattel? If you don't know what I'm talking about,
So
go
you're-
look it up.
You're getting close to spoiler territory.
Yes,
so we
I
might
am.
want to move on.
Yes, either way.
Move
So,
on.
and
I
Move
then
don't even know what we're talking about, but I can.
no,
tell spoilers.
that's the reason I'm not saying what it is. But then you have the other side who just like hate everything about it. But yeah, just go watch it, make your own opinion, and yeah, let us know what you think of He-Man or Masters of the Universe Revelations. And part 2 will come out shortly. So yeah.
We lost Francisco somehow,
Uh-oh.
so I've paused the show. Get back over here.
Come here, mouse.
There's the cursor. I'm trying to get him back.
Sorry, my fault. I'm so sorry.
I
What
just paused
happened?
the show for a second. That's all.
What happened?
Oh, I wanted to log in the chat so I could respond to like Bobo and other people and over here, but I'll just respond on Twitch. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Sorry.
It's all good. All right, so going into my last bit of news. If my pad will stop scrolling, because it likes to do that for some reason.
It's called your fingers resting on it.
Yeah, no, this pad has a mind of its own, like it's possessed.
Well, it is an old pad.
That is true.
Anyway, continue.
Either way, all right. So G Kids has acquired the distribution rights of apparently a film I've never heard of, but it's called Belle.
Oh, I saw an article on this. It's from the guy who did Summer Wars and Digimon.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm definitely watching it now.
What is his name? I'm feeling bad now. Mamoru Hosoda?
Something like that.
I think it's that. I think that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently this movie, it's called Belle. It's an adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. And it will debut. They've just released 2 trailers, and on January 14th, 2022, it will release in theaters. So I saw like a still frame of it, and I was like, wow, that looks really good. And when you said who the director was, I was like, oh my gosh.
If it's the movie I'm thinking of,
Yeah, it's Belle.
I think it is.
So yeah. So if you're interested in that, it's coming to theaters in January 14th of next year. So yeah.
So it's an anime version because it's G-Kids is usually anime, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's anime.
Well, G-Kids does a lot of different foreign animation stuff. The stuff they're most known for is anime because they currently have the Ghibli license, and they have some other anime stuff that sells well. But I've seen them advertise like French stuff sometimes and things of that nature. So.
Yep, that's all I got in the news.
All right. Well, then we need to jump into the spoiler-free section of our review for what movie are we doing? Vampire Hunter D.
Yes.
It's been a long conversation. Almost forgot what we were supposed to be here talking about.
Titanic. I thought we were
Titanic. Anyway, Francisco, what are your spoiler-free thoughts on Vampire Hunter D?
Not Bloodlust, the original, 1985.
Yes.
I think this is a very unique world, a very unique take on vampire lore. And so I definitely, I think if you're into vampire lore or stories with vampires, this is probably worth your time. That's my spoiler-free reaction.
Okay. Jacob?
Blah, 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 blah.
We already talked about this.
I just had to bring it up because it's a vampire movie.
Okay.
No, I really enjoyed this movie. It's very much a product of its time, 1980s. So it's an anime action film, has every blood, gore, swearing, nudity, everything in it. That it was the 1980s, and they just did that all the time. It's very much a product of its time. It's good. It's got a good story. It's got a nice reveal at the end. I was like, whoa, okay, they went there. I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. We'll talk about that later in our spoiler section. But just be like, great story. It's got a few problems here and there, but overall, really good film.
You're not going to bring up the issue that we did run into, or you may have run. into?
Yeah, that's right.
I had to warn you about.
Yes. If you do have issues with epilepsy, like I do, because I have Tourette's disorder. So this movie does have a lot of flashing lights and strobing lights. So there were points during the movie I'm literally covering my eyes because Drew pointed out, which I'm very grateful for my brother to point that out, because otherwise I would probably be sitting on my couch twitching and barking and just like, it's like, why didn't Drew warn me about this?
In many ways, I still feel guilty about Spider-Man.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Into the Dark, or not Into the Dark, that's a play.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
I did not think about the opening logo.
The intro. Oh my gosh.
Effect. I didn't think about that affecting his epilepsy.
Gotcha.
I knew he suffered from it because it came up when we were watching Incredibles 2, which was before we even were talking about the show.
Yes.
So, anyway.
But yes, if you do have if you're prone to have epilepsy, a strong warning that towards the latter part of the film, there's a lot of strobing lights. There's a lot of flashing lights. And it may cause your epilepsy to be triggered. So there's a fair warning there. And plus, there's a bit of nudity in this film. So if you're more sensitive to female nudity primarily, probably you want to stay clear of it.
In fact,
And it's definitely not family friendly. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
All right, so get all that advisory warnings. They're like, warning, these things happen in this film.
exactly.
Yeah.
But there's no smoking, right?
No, there's no smoking. I don't think so.
That's
I'm actually
that's
trying
a
to think because I could see maybe one of the villagers doing this.
Yeah.
maybe. I don't recall exactly.
I don't
I don't
remember.
either.
It was not prominent. My spoiler-free thoughts. This was the first time, of course, I'd seen the movie.
Same here.
I enjoyed it. I don't get me wrong. This is already sounding bad for me. I'm sorry.
Dun, dun, dun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm sure to everyone else, this is like listening to Francisco saying he likes the movies and then goes and bashes it for half an hour. But
Wow.
Oh.
no, I did enjoy the movie. It's not really in my vein of stuff I normally like because I'm, like I said earlier, I'm not a big horror guy. This is got more thriller elements, which lets me get in there, and I do kind of like vampire stories and that concept and everything.
Uh-huh.
But I think the thing I most appreciated about it is the artwork, which I'll get into some more, considering who the artist who most of the art is based on. But the story I thought was good. It's if you're looking for a good anime movie to watch this Halloween season, and you're not watching it with young kids or parents you don't want to think are judging, you don't want to judge you, go watch Vampire Hunter D. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And then Bloodlust after that, even better.
Probably. I hadn't watched that one yet.
And to quote a character from a movie we recently did, The Croods, dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
I
don't even get what I just did.
No,
We'll move
I
on.
didn't.
Color me confused.
It goes back to that Muppets Haunted Mansion we watched. And
Oh.
just released the reaction for like an hour before we started recording. the show.
Okay, I got you.
But anyway,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Got
now
it.
you remember.
Now I
Oh
remember.
yeah.
Anyway,
It's like, what is he talking about?
Anyway, join us on the other side of the bumpers, and we'll get to spoiling this thing. Don't forget that you can download. Don't forget that you can. Don't forget that you can listen to us record the podcast live every Tuesday over on our Facebook page, The Cellcast, our Twitch channel, The Cellcast Gaming, and on YouTube at Cellcast. Also, don't forget to join our Patreon if you would like to support us monetarily. At $1, you'll get our everlasting thanks. At our $5 tier, you can get some artwork from Jacob. And on our $10 tier, you can get bloopers for every episode we've released that I've remembered to release them for. And you can get commentaries from different movies. So come check us out over there if you would like to support us financially. Every other week, join the Retro Rewind Pod as they travel back 15 or more years along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, establishing what is still worth your time today. Expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco and Paul, the Master Interrupter Powers, and rotating guest hosts who are all out of time. Do you like Star Wars? I don't just mean the original trilogy. Along with that, I mean the prequels, the sequels, the anthologies, the animated shows, and of course, who doesn't like Baby Yoda? Well, if you've been in the fandom for any length of time, you know how toxic the fandom can get. And if you'd like to be able to discuss a galaxy far, far away in a much more positive light, might I suggest searching out The Outer Rim, a Facebook group dedicated to all of Star Wars, and check out their YouTube channel, which you can easily find at Pop Americana, which the podcast you're currently listening to is also a part of. To find that and more, check out the link in the description. Okay, we're paused.
Whoa, that was great. Hey, they mentioned you, Francisco. I know, that was so cool. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Jacob.
You're welcome, Calculus. Hey, Calculus, I actually do have a question for you since you're here.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I was playing Dragon Quest XI this last Monday for
Oh, yes.
on the streaming channel.
Yep.
And I ran into some cows that could
Ooh.
predict the weather.
Oh
My
really?
question is, can you do that?
Well, yes. You just look outside and predict what it looks like. Like right now, it looks like it is nighty with a chance of darky.
Ah. Okay.
No problem.
This is so curious.
So when are you gonna pay me for that prediction?
Check in the Patreon for Retro Rewind Pod. I'm sure it's
Woo! Oh yeah, I'll go there. Francisco, you guys check? Not right now, calculus. Oh come on. No. Okay. Oh goodness.
So yeah, I actually played the intermission music in case you were curious.
No, okay. I didn't know that. I had no idea. That's
Anyway.
cool. I didn't know you could play the ukulele.
Still learning. Still learning.
A live jam session.
I just
Yes.
knocked something off.
So you said we're paused. Can I go use the restroom real quick?
Yes, you go ahead and go use the
Go
restroom.
for it.
I'm losing everything because I'm not meant to turn around.
Oh my
We're in a
gosh.
guest show.
Yeah, this is already an interesting show. Let's just say that. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for hanging with us right now. Francisco has gone to do something
This
else.
is the little boy's room.
Exactly. He'll be back in a minute. But we'll probably hit the chat in
soon
just a second. As soon as Drew can find his ear.
Oh, that's what I knocked off a second ago. Yeah, where are...
Where are my ears?
They fell back behind me because this cord is incredibly short.
I think it's time for someone to replace their earbuds.
Well, I need different earbuds is what
That is
I
true.
need.
That is true.
Okay. Okay.
Excellent.
I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them like we normally do because
Yeah, because
there's
that's a
lot
big
more-
chat room.
There's a lot more tonight than normal.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you, Retro Rewind.
Yeah, we do
crew.
appreciate that. Hope some of y'all stay around and continue listening to us after tonight's
Exactly.
episode. We do try to have fun here.
Just a little bit.
Paul J. Powers asks, if the opposite of a vampire is a vampire hunter, then wouldn't the opposite of someone who takes away blood be someone who gives blood, aka a blood donor?
That's true.
In a way, yeah. Also, is the Red Cross an undercover vampire coven?
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
That is a good one. Good job, Paul.
D. Tunson says, I don't think so. My dad didn't notice any vampires when he worked there.
Eh.
Or did he?
Are you sure? It's all a conspiracy.
Also, D. Tungsten agrees with me. He seconds the shotgun. The 12 gauge.
Yeah, agreed, but arrows are just the bomb.
Now, Paul J. Powers actually had a better concept, I think. He says, no, let's play global thermonuclear war.
No. No, they said we dealt with a Cold War before. Let's not do it again.
You don't want to play a game?
Not that kind of game.
D. Tungsten says, haha, I saw something yesterday that prompted me to say, greetings, Professor Falcon. You've not seen what's the name of that movie? It's just right there. War Games, have you?
No, I haven't.
I know a movie I'm letting you borrow.
Okay.
Oh, you're actually going through the whole chat? Wow,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
go through the whole
impressive.
thing. I'm
We're just kind of just skimming through it.
Oh, okay.
looking for funny stuff. Because there's way too much here for me to do.
We're not used to that much, chat.
Ashley says, let it go. More like, can't let it go. Ugh.
Yeah.
I agree with that. My life would be so much better if Frozen just went away.
By the way,
After we recorded that first episode.
that is true.
All right,
So-
that's fair.
So
That was a good icebreaker.
that is true. So with Ashley, she's a part of our Patreon, as far as I
Yes,
understand.
she's on
All
our...
right, so
yeah, she's on
look
our
look
Patreon.
forward to the art that's coming out. I'm kind of
Ooh.
dedicated, like ever since you became a patron of ours. Thank you so much. So I'll be sending out a art that is directed at Ashley.
Awesome. That won't happen every time.
No, it won't.
What? What?
So if
But we do... your goal is to put out one art piece a month, right?
yes,
Okay.
I haven't been very successful the last 2 months.
In all fairness, we're still figuring Patreon out.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
so true.
Paul J. Powers said, this commercial break has been brought to you by... ... dot.
There's a. I think he tried to link Paul G. Powers or CajunCurl.com maybe.
Yeah, those would make the most sense, but I like what he said afterwards. Link deleted. Call Zelda.
She'll know what to do.
Yes, she'll know what to do. Paul Jabbar says, Muppet Haunted Mansion. How can you forget dun dun? It was a running gag in that.
Yes,
thing.
I agree. We go blank every once in a while. It's like, oh yeah.
He says, so I'm watching the Cellcast Gaming, that being the name of the Twitch channel. So when do the games begin? Probably Monday.
The games happen now. We're at now.
What are you talking about? This? Have you not seen the volleys back and forth between me and
the
Jacob
struggles for survival?
Francisco?
The struggle of survival here, it's intense,
It's all
man.
like verbal warfare. Don't you
Exactly.
understand? We are doing verbal global thermonuclear war here.
Here you go, Paul. I'm playing
Yeah,
backwards.
I got an NES too.
Oh no.
Except mine's got wireless.
Well, look at you,
got nothing.
Drew.
I've also got the Super Nintendo one.
I do as well. Are we gonna compete in
Where's the
joysticks now?
pencil?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I have an Xbox one. Ha, ha, ha.
Well, it's
I
over
got a
there.
pencil?
Mine's over there.
I got a pencil. That's the only thing I
Xbox.
got.
Mine's a Series X, so booyah.
Man.
See, right here.
Oh yeah, I have a calculus. Moo moo.
I got a Keyblade. Let's just move on.
All right, fine.
Ice Climber Buffalo says, every time I think of Miss Piggy, I think of Robot Chicken's Fattest Fat Loser and Family Guy, where Kermit Jr. was a pig and frog mutant that
Oh my
wanted
gosh.
to die.
Oh gosh. Scary.
That's not much better than that picture of Kermit and Fozzie's father from Great Muppet Caper.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Yes.
not much better.
Wow. Yeah. What in the world?
Paul J. Parris says, but he forgot his little boy behind his chair. Oh, you're talking about Dan back there.
Oh
San
yeah,
Francisco.
right there. Oh,
Yeah, there's Dan.
Oh here. This will help.
Yeah,
There's-
there you go.
He's in the glass.
He's in my water cup.
That reminds me of that Sesame Street thing when we were a kid about the guy in the jar.
I have no idea.
No,
'cause
okay, moving on.
I never watched Sesame Street when I was a kid.
Never mind then.
I know I had
Oh goodness.
I'd had cable when I was a kid. A little one.
What? Sesame
No,
Street
I
is
didn't.
It was on
PBS.
PBS.
We didn't get pick up PBS.
Okay. That,
When you
in
pick
this
it
area,
up, it
that
comes
is
to
very
you.
fair.
Yes,
In this area, that's very fair.
definitely in the 80s.
Because all we've got is Dallas, and the only reason we had it is because technically we had like super basic cable, which was just the local channels.
Yeah.
Dude, be like mine was
Guaranteeing the local channels, not just what you could
mine
pick up.
was going home and watching Thundercats in the afternoon.
Thunder. Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Oh.
Oh,
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Anyway,
yes,
y'all ready to jump back into this?
yes,
thing?
let's do
I
it.
think so.
All right. Coming back in. If I can hit the buttons on here correctly.
Wrong button.
My cursor is on the wrong screen. That's my problem here. Can't
That'll
find
do
it
it.
half the time. Okay. Coming back in. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie Vampire Hunter D.
I've
Listener
been
discretion
spoiled. Damn,
is
sorry.
advised.
Sorry. I thought you were done. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do
No,
that.
I know who listens to the episodes. I'm
Oh my gosh.
I listened to some of them. Sorry.
Oh wow. Okay, that was good, Francisco. That was awesome.
after I say advised, then you can say do your
Well, I don't want to say it now. I ruined it. I'm just going to be quiet over here in the corner. I'm going to be going up and down with D in this wagon.
I'll
Whoever's
Tomorrow's
getting these
editing is going to-
bloopers is gonna be great.
tomorrow's editing is going to be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. 'Cause, yeah, those of you who are going to be looking forward to this, it will still come out tomorrow. This is going to be tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get this done tonight. So I'm just going to go from there. Get back over here to the notes. All right. Vampire Hunter D was directed by Toyu Ashihida, who is most famous for directing the series Fist of the North Star. was also written by Yasushi Hirano, who wrote many of the episodes of the TV series Ultraman over there in Japan.
Hmm.
It is based on the light novel by Hideyuki Kikuchi, who also wrote Wicked City. And the illustrator on those books was Yoshitaka Amano, who was the primary art designer for Final Fantasies 1 through 6 and is still doing the logos for every Final Fantasy game that comes out.
Wow.
And you can tell when you look at the cover of this Blu-ray that that's who it is. Getting into the cast for the Sentai Filmworks English dub of this film, D was voiced by John Gramillion, who voiced Seal in Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Whoop whoop.
D's left hand was voiced by Ray Jinsei. Sorry, was voiced by Andy McGavin, who voiced the character of Kimura in Azumanga Daioh, one of my favorite shows. Doris Lang was voiced by Lucy Christian, who voiced Ochako Uraraka and Recovery Girl in My Hero Academia. Count Magnus Lee and Mayor Roman was both voiced by David Wald, who voiced Tetsu in My Hero Academia. Dan Lang was voiced by Shannon Emmerich, and he also voiced Finn. I'm not sure I'm saying this right, but Finn Daimone in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Oh gosh.
I think it is.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm just going to throw my 2 cents there. Greco-Roman was voiced by Jay Hickman, who voiced Kotaro Onodera in Full Metal Panic. Countess Lamika Lee was voiced by Brittany Karbowski, who voiced Wendy Marvell in Fairy Tale. Dr. Faringo was voiced by John Swasey, and he is the voice of Gendo Ikari in Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay.
That just explained a lot to you, didn't it?
It did. I was like, oh my gosh. Psychopath.
All 3 Lamia, the Snake Women, were voiced by Tiffany Grant, and she's the voice of Asuka Langley in Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh wow, she played Asuka.
Mhm. I knew you'd appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
Sheriff Danton, the Messenger, and Chula were voiced by Mark Laskowski, and he played the character Iwata in Quack Experimental Anime Excel Saga.
What?
Excel Saga.
Oh, okay.
But the full name of it is Quack Experimental Anime Excel Saga.
Quack.
You don't believe me? It's right there.
Okay.
I have a copy.
Okay, I'll believe you.
Okay. Getting into the Kingdom Hearts connections right quick. Kirk Thornton was Danton and the Innkeeper in Anne Lee's Messenger in the Streamline dub, and in Kingdom Hearts, he is Issa and Sykes, and he's also the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Huh.
Now that I'm allowed to bring that in.
Yes, you are.
And Kaneto Shiozawa was the voice of D in the Japanese version, and he's the voice of Gray Fox in the Japanese version of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh.
What do we got in info and stuff?
All right. So let me get that info and stuff pulled up really quickly. All right. So you are available to watch Vampire Hunter D. As far as I understand, you can watch it on Amazon Prime Video.
Nope.
You can?
I couldn't.
Okay, where did you watch it?
High Dive? HIDIVE.com.
High Dive was the only streaming service I saw that had it,
Oh, okay, because I couldn't find anything where
which
you
is
could
Sentai
stream-
Filmworks' streaming service.
That makes sense. Okay, let's go watch it on High Dive. If you're able to watch it on High Dive. Thank you, Francisco.
Sure.
I did not know that. All right,
Sure,
so
can you not even rent it on Amazon?
Not that I
No.
could see.
Oh,
I'm sure
Not
you could buy. I think you could buy the Blu-ray or whatever, but not digitally.
yeah.
Like-
yeah, I'm fairly certain that's where I bought the Blu-ray.
yeah, you can't
Okay.
stream it on Amazon. All right, so IMDb, it has a 7.2 out of 10. Production was Epic, Sony Records, Movic, CBS, Sony Pictures, Asha Productions, and it was distributed by Toei. And it was distributed by in the US by who was it?
Well, originally by Streamline
Yeah.
Pictures, and then it's now being distributed by Sentai Filmworks.
Yes. All right. So it was originally released in Japan on December 21st, 1985, and then its US dub was released March 26th, 1992. All right. So I could not find any box office information on this film whatsoever. But home release, Vampire Hunter D was released theatrically in Japan on, like I said before, December 21st, 1985. It was distributed by Toei. It was released on Laserdisc by CBS Sony Group Inc. It's the same date. A English dub was released in 1993 by Streamline, as Drew said. It was shown in theaters August of that year. It was released on VHS on March 29th, 26th of 1993. It was released on VHS. Granted, some people are like, "What's a VHS?" Go look it up.
VHS is not the most obscure format.
No, it's not.
What's a
Be like-
Betamax?
Yeah, what's a beta? What's a laser disc?
No, better yet. What is was it the CED?
Yeah, CED.
The capacitance disc?
Yeah.
Oh.
He had to explain that to me. I had no idea what he was talking
Was
about.
that
The only reason I
RCA
know of
thing?
it is because of a YouTube channel I watch called Technology Connections.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's see. It was released throughout the 90s. It was released on a VHS. Let's see. It was played significantly on TBS, Cartoon Network, and the Sci-Fi Channel, also now known as CV. Why did they shorten the CV? It makes no sense. What? Just call it the Sci-Fi Channel. That's all.
Technically, it is still called Sci-Fi. We've jokingly called it Sci-Fi.
Yeah. But either way, let's see. Going through there in 2000, Urban Vision produced and distributed Vampire Hunter D, the Bloodlines, the re-release of the OVA Special Edition, which is basically the sequel to that, Vampire Hunter D. Let's see. It was released DVD October 17th. Contained the original Japanese audio with Dolby Digital 5.1 mix with the streamlined dub. Special edition DVD was released by Mega Entertainment in the UK in 2004. Let's see. Madhouse re-released it in July 2014. On April 16th, 2015, Sentai Filmworks announced they licensed the film for North America and for digital home release. The film was re-released on Blu-ray and DVD on August 25th, 2015, with a new English dub. And like I said before, its sequel is Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. So that's all I have for info and stuff.
All right. Now to get into our summary. While walking her guard rounds in the country, Doris Lang, the orphan daughter of a deceased werewolf hunter, is attacked and bitten by Count Magnus Lee, a 10,000-year-old long-lost vampire lord, also known as a noble, for trespassing in his domain. Doris later encounters a mysterious vampire hunter known only as D, and hires him to kill Count Lee to save her from becoming a vampire, as she is infected with Count Lee's bite. While in town with Dan, her younger brother, and D, Doris is confronted by Greco-Roman, the mayor's son, about the Count's attack, and D promises to help her if he has Doris for himself. When Doris refuses, Greco reveals what happened to the entire town, including Dan. D requests that the authorities, including Greco's father, the town sheriff, and Dr. Ferengo, should hold off Doris's incarceration at the local asylum until he kills Count Lee, which will cure Doris's vampire infection. That night, Doris's farm is attacked by Ray Ginsei, Count Lee's servant, and Lamika, Count Lee's daughter, who is highly prejudiced against humans and Dhamphirs. Dee is able to easily resist Ray, but before he can finish Ray off, Ray reveals he has the ability to twist space around him and is able to redirect Dee's death blow onto Dee before Ray can finish him off. Dee reveals he has recovered from the redirected attack in seconds, revealing he is a Dhamphir, and after easily reflecting Lamika's attacks, orders both of them to leave with a warning to Count Lee. The next day, Dee travels to Count Lee's castle and attempts to confront the Count. Aided by the symbiont in his left hand, Dee holds his own against the Count's monstrous minions, including Ray and his companions Gimlet, Golem, and Chula. While in the castle's catacombs, however, he is ensnared and captured by the snake women of Midwich. Doris is then kidnapped by Ray and brought to the Count. Using his vampiric powers, Dee kills the snake women, after a long period of time, rescues Doris before she can be killed by Lamika and escapes the castle. In town, Greco overhears a meeting between Ray and the messenger from Count Lee, who gives the former a candle with time-bewitching incense, a substance powerful enough to weaken anyone with vampire blood in their veins. Dee is taken hostage by Ray to lure Dee out into the open, and Dee comes to his rescue, cutting off Ray's hand in the process and discovering that the candle is a fake. Meanwhile, Dr. Ferengo, himself a vampire now, in league with Count Lee, leads Doris into a trap, but is confronted and killed by Lamika when he begins requesting to share Doris with the Count. Greco, who stole the candle from Ray, then appears, using the time-bewitching incense to severely weaken Lamika and causes Doris pain, likely due to her own infection, but is shot by Dan and falls down a cliff. Afterwards, Doris, who has now fallen for Dee, tries to convince him to live with her and embraces him. This starts to trigger Dee's vampire side, but unwilling to buy her, he forces her away from him. The next morning, Greco is confronted and killed by Ray, who uses the real candle to weaken Dee, allowing him to mortally wound the vampire hunter with a wooden stake. Doris is then captured and taken back to the castle. Lamika tries to persuade her father not to allow a human into the family, but Lee reveals that there is no harm in doing so, as Lamika's own mother was a human, making her a Dhamphir instead of a full-blooded vampire, and Lamika is restrained by Count Lee when she becomes hysterical at the revelation. Ray requests that the Count give him eternal life as a member of the nobility, but he is coldly rebuffed for his past failures, leaving Ray in a rage. As a mutant attempts to devour Dee's comatose body, his left hand revives him just in time for him to kill the monster. As the processional for the Count and Doris's wedding takes place, Dan, having infiltrated the Count's castle, attempts to attack Lee, but is repelled by Lee and falls into a chasm before being saved by Ray, who has switched sides. In retaliation for not fulfilling his request, Ray confronts and attempts to weaken the Count with the time-bewitching incense. However, Lee, who is too powerful to be overpowered by the incense, destroys the candle with his telekinetic abilities, then kills Ray with the same powers, before Doris can be bitten by the Count. Dee appears and engages in battle with Lee. Dee's attacks are futile due to Lee's psychic and telekinetic abilities, and almost kills Dee before Dee unleashes his own telekinetic abilities and breaks from Lee's telekinetic hold and succeeds in fatally stabbing the noble in the heart with his sword, while Lee manages to seriously wound Dee with a dagger. A weakened Lee attempts to influence Doris into killing Dee, but she is broken out of the trance by Dan, who arrives with Lamika. With Lee dying, his castle begins crumbling, and Lee, while lamenting his defeat and looking at a picture of the first vampire, Count Dracula, notices Dee is Count Dracula's child, and therefore the son of the legendary ancestral god of vampires, to both Dee and Lamika's astonishment. Dee attempts to persuade Lamika into living as a human, but she chooses to die as a member of the nobility with her father and stays in the castle as it collapses, killing both Lee and then Lamika off screen. Dee, Doris, and Dan escape the collapsing castle. Dee then sets off under a now clear blue sky. Doris, now recovered from her bite, and Dan bid Dee goodbye as he looks back briefly to them and smiles. Getting into the trivia for this, Hideyuki Kikuchi, the writer of the Vampire Hunter D novels that the movie's based on, uses more of the Hammer horror universe of Dracula stories as his basis for storytelling than the original Dracula novel written by Bram Stoker. In the original novel, Dracula was more of a magical being who was able to walk around in daylight, could shapeshift into multiple forms, and could use hypnosis as a means of distant communication between himself and his victims. There are also more of an emphasis on natural elements being the tools to fight him off. That included garlic, rose stems, communion wafers, mirrors, blah, blah, blah. And while Universal Pictures subtly changed and added to many of these elements with their own Dracula movies in 1931, it was actually the Hammer Horror Studios that nonchalantly refined and created the more commonly known and popular rules that future vampires films adhere to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Crosses, frightening, paralyzing, and burning vampires. Holy water burns a vampire like acid, so on and so forth. Sunlight turns any part of the vampire, hits into dust. If a vampire falls into... I'm going to skip ahead here a little because it goes into really deep stuff here. The rules and negotiations have all appeared in many Vampire Hunter D novels at some point or another, and so can then assume that the main protagonist in the Vampire Hunter franchise, D, is actually the descendant of the Dracula played by Christopher Lee, and not the Dracula from the original novel, played by Bela Lugosi. And if you couldn't tell... Magnus Lee is actually based off of the look of Christopher Lee.
Makes
I
sense.
couldn't tell that.
I couldn't really tell that either, but after seeing that, I can kind of see it.
No.
But mostly he just looks like a disinterested father who kind of was just helping his daughter out and got turned into a vampire in the process. That's what it looked like to me anyway.
Sure, I could see that.
And the film takes place in 12,090 is the year it takes place in.
Ah, a good wine from that year, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you would know the pod has probably traveled even farther than that in the future.
No, we can only go back in time.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
and then
apologies.
into the current time. We can never go forward. Yeah.
Ah. Okay, cool.
Gotcha.
I was going to try and get something that's like, yeah, you only refer to the movies so when the games come out. So yeah, that would be back in time no matter when the movie or game took place.
Exactly.
So,
Now, if the
fair
movie
enough.
takes place in the future, we're kind of traveling to the future, but it's within the movie's own time.
Right. It's the own
space.
the movie's rules, not your rules.
Exactly.
Fair enough. So, Francisco,
Yes.
what's your first like for this?
Oh, so my first like for Vampire Hunter D is I sort of made mention of this in the spoiler-free reaction, but I thought the idea of this future dystopian like 12,090 like so far in the future, and mixed with sort of gothic horror elements, and like you couple that with like mutants and rifles and still like old timey swords and stakes and amulets. I thought just the melding of this seemed to work. It seems like all that would just be too wild and too much like trying to squeeze into a universe, but the way they did this, I felt like it really worked. There's so much that was just sort of D's going into this cavern in the castle. He has a item for that, a trinket for that. This mutant. D got this mutant. Oh no, he can warp time around himself. Just I don't know. It just all seemed to work, even though on the face of it, it's really zany. But I really enjoyed this world, and that there's a lot they could still do with it. And it sounds like, I think one of you mentioned that the manga is still in production, still create new episodes or new
Light
issues.
novel is, yeah.
Oh, the light novel. So
Yeah.
so I really enjoyed the world of D.
Jacob, your first like?
All right, my first like would be the plot.
Mm.
The idea that this plot, it doesn't have any real. It's like, oh, we got all this filler. We're gonna go to the backstory of all these characters. As though it's a very straightforward story. It's very. It's not. It's very. It's straightforward. It's nonsense. It's sensical. It doesn't. There's not enough. There's not enough fluff. There's no. Extra extending tentacles that just tell all the story and try to bring it into one. It's very linear. There's no side story. There's no side stories. There's no nothing. It's just straightforward. We're telling this story, and I just really enjoyed the storytelling in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It like most movies, it's trying to tell so many things in so much time. It's trying to give you all the backstory to everybody.
Yeah.
And a certain limited time, and sometimes movies get hang up on this. This
Mhm.
movie
A
does
lot of times anime movies get
a
hung
lot
up
of
on
anime
us.
movies
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
The main one that's coming across my mind is when we did My Hero Academia 2 Heroes,
Yeah,
and they tried to bring in all 30 members of the class.
yeah,
And half of them didn't need to be there for the story.
Oh, wow.
agreed,
So
agreed. Yeah, just the movie. It goes straight forward. It tells you the information you need to know, and leaves everything the mystery until the very end. And which is like I mean, it's like, going into, obviously we're in the spoiler section. The fact that they reveal that D is the offspring of Count Dracula.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, wow, okay, that was cool, because it wasn't, because if you were to tell like a modern story, they would go back to Dracula's time and tell you like when he was conceived and who his mother was, and they would spoil the entire ending of the
Mhm.
film before
Yeah,
you get
totally.
5 minutes into the film.
Mhm.
But this movie keeps like everything nice and straight.
Yeah.
It tells you it's okay. Here's story, and it just keeps going. I love that form of storytelling. It's not we're going off in the different branches and trying to tell this vast story. It's like, no, we're just going straight forward, going for the jugular, pun intended.
Mhm.
Just it's a very well executed story,
Mhm.
and I just really enjoy it.
kind of building
Awesome.
off of that, off both of what y'all said, mine
Uh-huh.
is the implied lore.
Yes,
Exactly.
agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Agreed.
This is telling essentially a story about Dee saving Doris and
Yes.
Yep.
all the trouble he's going through for this. And it's set with implying that there is all this lore that's happened over the course of 12,000 years or so,
Mhm.
going all the way back to the original Dracula. You need to know that is going on, but you don't need, that's not important for the story.
Yes.
Because the story this one's telling is not the story of Vampire Hunter D. It's the story of this one of Vampire Hunter D's adventures.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes.
Obviously setting up for the rest of the novels, I would assume.
Mhm.
And I'm really hoping that some of that stuff in the novels is explained slowly over the course of it and not just crammed all into one story, which
Oh, that
is
would be
usually
miserable.
what I'm afraid of, especially with some of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
And I lost my headphones again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Piddle.
Come on, Drew.
Telling you, I need a longer cord.
Agreed.
I'll try this ear for a while. But yeah, I really appreciate the fact that there's obviously lore in this universe that it's based on.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's a few things I wonder if it's necessary for this story. Like the fact that they do have ray guns and you got cyborg horses. I think you could have told the same story in like a medieval setting and it would be the same story. But obviously this is a smaller story, a part of a larger story. And that's the part I appreciate.
You know what sort of just dawned on me? I don't know why I didn't sort of think of this before, but we were talking about earlier about what genre this fits in. Is it horror? Is it thriller?
Mhm.
This is actually a Western. This is such a
Yeah,
Western.
It is. It is so much
film.
Western.
Yeah, a lone hero comes into town, saves a girl or a family from this menacing overlord, essentially, or warlord, or what have you. Yeah, it's just totally a Western, which is probably why I like it so much, because I typically enjoy Westerns. So, okay.
It's a
Gotcha.
horror sci-fi Western.
Yes, the
Pretty much.
best kind of movie.
Francisco, what's your second like?
Uh,
Outside
I-
of it being a horror Western sci-fi.
So this takes Jacobs and sort of goes to a very micro level of it. I really enjoyed how Dee is faced when Doris is taken and Dee has to infiltrate the castle. Just all the little vignettes of he has to get through this guy flying with these blades, and then he has to go across the bridge by jumping with his horse. He has to get past the giant guy with the big fireball, and then he has to get through the tunnel with all the like crazy bugs and all this stuff, and then he has to overcome the wolf guy and the witch, and then fall down. Just all these different all these different challenges he has to go through. I really enjoy when a hero is faced with all these things and you just see okay, now he knows what to do here, and it just shows his skill level. And it's like, what's he gonna do now? He's obviously skilled in the last thing, but now what is he gonna do? It just and he takes damage, and it's not like he can just take everything, and then he ends up with the snake women of Midwich, and you're like, oh well, now he's toast. I mean, they're just gonna drain him forever, but then he overcomes that. I really enjoyed that, and then escaping the castle and how he has to think on his feet. Now he's like, okay, well, he got through all that, but now he has to carry Doris, and now it seems like the challenge and the stakes keep getting up to there, and I really just enjoyed those sequences of getting into the castle and getting out of the castle. That is just the best part of the movie for me.
Awesome.
Okay, mine would be Dee's left hand. I was just more like,
he's
That's
good.
such an
Yeah,
interesting concept.
I agree. I was there again, be like having really no understanding of Vampire Hunter D or who D was or a character. I think I see like clips of it, but his little left hand was like the comedic timing, perfect timing. It was like creepy at the first time. It's like, whoa, okay. This is like what's his name from Inuyasha with his void hand.
Oh, the priest.
The priest,
I
yeah.
can't think of his name.
Yeah, the lecherous monk.
Aren't they all
It's
in
true.
anime?
It's true. But either way, be like the point where D is killed or he's stunned or whatever, and his hand gets chopped off.
yes.
That whole scene is like the hands to be like, okay, come on. Like he eats dirt and then he gets the strength to go back to D and he's like slapping D. It's like, wake up, man, we're gonna die, hurry up. In the last minute he wakes up and I'm like, okay, that was hilarious. I was like, okay, that's intriguing, but funny. Your left hand is telling you, wake up.
The only thing that would make that hand better is if you actually absorb the powers of wherever you sucked in. If D could have for a few minutes have
You wanted to
whatever
be
it
Mega
was.
Man?
Yeah, like Mega Man, exactly. Or Kirby. I'm thinking more Kirby.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I was
Yes.
thinking the hand with the weapon anyway.
Yeah.
My second is the fact that while the art is very simplified from what Yoshitaka Amano's art style usually is, it is still very obviously his art. His style is still preserved in the
Yes.
much more easier to animate
Yeah.
artwork.
Right.
Y'all know me. We've recorded 3 reviews on Final Fantasy movies.
Agreed.
Within 3 years, which is pretty fast, all things considered. I mean, we
Agreed.
haven't gotten that far with How to Train Your Dragon yet. We need to, or Kung Fu Panda, or any of these other ones we've done.
Yes.
But I powered us through 3 Final Fantasy movies, so obviously
Hero
I'm a fan. And so much of Final Fantasy is based on that artwork that Yoshitaka Amano did, especially with the first 6 games. And of course, he still does the logos for all the games. And so I've seen a lot of his artwork in one form or another. And so I appreciate that his line work, while simplified to make it a lot easier to animate, it's still, his style is still there. You can still tell that these are characters that he styled.
Mm-hmm.
And so I appreciate that part of it, because that doesn't always happen when you adapt a movie, even with anime. So
Agreed.
yeah, that's my last
Okay, so the character I mentioned is Moroku, and every time I hear Moroku, all I hear is, "Hey, I'm getting slapped."
Okay. Oh, in Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Thank you. I was completely confused.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, I don't
Sorry.
remember that in this movie, but okay.
Yeah, that was the dog boy demon anime that you're always messing with somebody about. I don't remember who. Anyway,
Cat ears, red robe.
That
Ears,
one,
The
robe.
yeah.
cat ears red robed.
Yeah.
He's a dog. He's a demon dog.
that's the joke. That's the joke.
Okay,
I don't
I'm not in
remember
the
who you-
loop.
I don't remember who you bring this up with. I just
With
come up.
Dallas from Geek Devotion.
I figured. I had
Whenever
a
he
feeling it was
mentions
him.
some
him and-
anime,
that's-
I don't know
That
the
and
title.
StarCraft.
Yeah, that and StarCraft, exactly. Yeah, but whenever he mentions an anime, that I'm like, I don't know what anime that is. I'm like, is that Cat Ears Red Robe? And he's like,
Oh
no.
my gosh.
Francisco, I know you like this movie a lot, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we do need a dislike from you, at least one.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, I have plenty to dislike. This isn't Vampire and D Bloodlust. That's number one. Number two is the grass going like this to
Oh, that
simulate
drove me
That
nuts.
was annoying.
Oh my gosh. And then when Doris is in the middle of it, it looks like she's in a whirlwind. I'm like, but she's just walking fast forward.
Yeah, that,
No, but
that was a weird. I almost wondered, did somebody screw up the transfer on this
no,
disc?
it used to be like that. I remember as well. No, I don't
Okay.
think it's.
Then,
no.
then I will question the people who animated that scene. on
Yeah,
their
I think
decisions.
it was a budgetary thing. It's like we don't want to. It's just faster to have like planes going like this than. Which
Yeah,
for
but
those
you
listening,
normally
you have
only-
no idea what I'm doing. I'm passing imagine taking I don't know, sheets of paper and just sliding them back and forth across each other to simulate motion forward, but it doesn't work
Right,
that way.
but the problem is it's not motion forward. They're using sideways motion on
Yeah,
one
exactly.
in one set, and then the forward and backwards motion on the other.
Exactly. So it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
It
What
doesn't
kind of-
match.
It doesn't work.
What kind of weird non-Euclidean geometry are we dealing with?
It's anime.
Yeah, that's true.
My
Animes
real
are usually better than this.
my
even on the bad
real-
stuff.
first dislike. It's just I feel like the nudity for the nudity for the snake women of Midwich I don't think is needed at all. You can definitely have them be temptresses without seeing any their breasts. The nudity with Doris I understand a little bit more because it's supposed to be this almost temptation that Dee has to overcome. I don't think us as an audience necessarily need to see it. I think you could show her from the back, and so it's obvious that Dee sees her. And so I'm rethinking that. In that way, you don't need it at all for us as the audience to see nudity for this movie.
Okay.
And I think you could still get across all the things you're trying to get across without it.
I completely agree. I agree with you.
Mhm.
I think from an artistic standpoint, it's not really, it's not in your face. It's not overly sexualized.
Yeah,
And it's like, it's very much, okay, it's there. It's not we're not glowering it over. You'd be like, oh, we're doing nudity. It's very much a natural part of the scene.
yeah.
And
yeah.
I enjoy
Yeah.
that part, but I do understand your point.
Yeah, it's
I'm not saying it's not natural the way they show
Yeah.
yeah.
but it could have been done more tastefully.
Okay.
Is the only way I'd put it. Best way I'd put it. I'm not saying they need to be wearing T-shirts or something like
Right,
that.
right. I'm not saying that. We gotta
Yeah. I'm not saying this has got to be like 4 kids stuff and made and weird censorship in areas.
Yeah.
It's not gratuitous, I would say.
No, it's
not
not.
gratuitous. It's just I dislike it myself. I mean, this is actually part of my dislike. If I can jump in here,
Okay, go for it.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
along with this and the other bits of fan service throughout the movie, namely the fact like every 5 seconds when Doris is doing something, you see a panty shot.
Yeah, that is true.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
like
this.
every
Like,
shot.
like they like to shoot her from below the skirt, so
Yeah.
that you naturally can see the panty up there because the shirt's so
Oh.
short. Skirt is so short. I can. Tell.
I did not realize. Okay, apparently I'm oblivious to that.
But it's like constant. It's like after like the first scene, I quit paying attention to it, not because it's not there, but because I'm too used to it by now.
Yeah,
gotcha.
They're
Oh,
doing
that
it
makes
so
sense.
much. So I wish they wouldn't do stuff like that. And of course,
Yeah.
the nudity, I kind of wish they would leave out too, because it could be done in you could get the idea across, I think, in a much cleaner way
Mhm.
and a much more you could do it with innuendo and it would not stand out. I know that in Japan, especially in the 80s, that was a different culture and they
Yeah,
were a
exactly.
lot more open about this. sort
Yeah,
of thing.
agreed.
Mhm.
Agreed.
And they were not making it as an international film. They were making it as a domestic film
Mhm.
for their culture. I understand that.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so this is essentially a rated R film.
Yeah.
I get that. Don't get me wrong. I get that.
Yeah.
It's just from an artistic point of view, I think maybe you could have done without it and it would not have affected the story in a negative way. That's
Yeah.
mostly my thought there. So it's
Yeah,
mostly a
also,
preference.
like playing devil's advocate with this point. Now, granted, I don't really the idea of like, oh, let's just use nudity for nudity's sake. because it's the 80s because that's what the 80s did.
Mm-hmm.
Like using nudity just because like the shock factor, it's like, okay, that's what you want to do, that's fine. I disagree with it. Artistically, it's done very well. It's done in very good taste, because it's not here's this woman without a shirt on, or using different kind of like using non-realistic dynamics of doing a certain move or something like that. Just like how you do, not like now everything's like showy and just over exaggerated, bombastic, and everything. This is very much it's okay. It's here. We're using it within the context of what's going on. The temptation of the D, like that makes sense. So I completely agree with your points, guys. Completely. Just the artistically, it's okay. I understand why they did it. A, it was the error, and B, it's not in your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Yeah. I guess I'll say I'll just cap my thoughts by saying that's totally a preferential thing. I know some people aren't affected by, or that doesn't matter to them, and that's totally fine. That's more how they see movies. This is just like, I'm here giving you my 2 cents. So this is not me saying we need to change this movie. How dare they show me that? This is just me sharing my preference. That's all.
Yeah. Change.org. We need to change the
Oh my gosh. Wow.
No, don't do that.
I need to make a Kickstarter to censor Vampire Day 1985.
Vampire Hunter D. We're gonna make her skirt longer, and we're gonna put an Ariel style shell bra on the snake legs.
Oh my gosh.
Why aren't I funded yet? Man.
Jacob, did you have a dislike?
Yes, I did.
You played devil's advocate to mine and Francisco's points.
Okay, so this first one's very much a nitpick, definitely with the editing in this film. There's a scene where Doris, thank you, it's Doris. Doris and Dee are talking, and she's trying to convince him don't go. And it's like the scene's great, and then automatically it does this quick cut to where he's riding his mechanical horse off of the sunset. I'm like, what in the world was this? I was so, because the editing in this film was very well done, except for like 1 or 2 scenes where it's all these little quick cuts, or it's like it doesn't show Dee walking out the door. It's like they're talking almost like mid-sentence. It goes, nope, he's gone. He's like, Doris is talking to him, and Dee just walks out the door. It's like, Dee, I was telling you don't leave. Why are you leaving?
Because he's mysterious.
Yeah.
He's the mysterious stranger
that wants to suck your blood.
Riding in on a horse with no name.
Is he coming in the desert?
Rain.
But yeah, it's just that weird quick, edit shift into like a completely different scene. Just threw me. I was like, what in the world?
Oh, okay.
You're doing so well, like cinematically and editing and everything. And that one little, just like, you go from they're talking to he's running on the horse. What in the world? I understand you're trying to get to the action scenes. I get that. But at least make it a clean transition, not just jump, he's on the horse. It's that just drove me nuts. So yeah,
it did drive me nuts, but okay.
Yeah,
fair enough. I didn't notice that, but sure.
Yeah,
all right.
You have a second.
Add it to the Kickstarter.
There we go.
There
Fix
you
that
go.
cut.
Vampire Hunter D remastered,
Yes.
Ultimate Edition.
More like unmastered.
Yeah,
Unmastered.
it's all pixel art.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh.
Actually, I'd watch that.
Yeah, right. Me too.
Do you have a second dislike, Francisco?
Yeah, so this is a big one, guys. I hated the Super Sentai Senpai, whatever the name is, Filmworks voice cast. It's just, So not good. I think part of it is because I grew up as a teen college, etc. Watching the original dub of Vampire D, and so I have all those voices in my head. So as I'm watching this, those voices are competing with the new voices. I'm like, get out of here with the new voices.
Yep.
It's just so, and not that the old voices were the best ever, but I really appreciated Lee's and his daughter's Count Lee's and his daughter's accent that is totally gone in this version. I'm like, what the junk? Give them their accents back. And the only voice that I thought probably was improved was Dee's, which was great. I'm glad that Dee's, at least your main character's voice was better. The previous voice actor for Dee in the English dub was fine, but I did think this Dee's was an improvement. I forget the actor's name. But the worst was Dan's voice, the boys. Oh my gosh. This kid's voice in this Super Sentai Senpai, whatever it's Film Work Factory Works version, please leave. Just cut. Go. Let's add this to the Kickstarter, the unmastered version. Just get rid of Dan completely. We don't need him if you're gonna give him that voice. It's so much better than the original.
Redub him.
Yeah, redub him. Maybe get a boy. Ever thought of that? I'm pretty sure it's voiced by a woman. I could be wrong, but
90% of the time it is.
It's voiced by a woman. And that very drawn, Western, kind of a Southern accent. I was like, what in the world is that?
No one else talks like that too. It's just so bad. So like, that was.
Were you the first person to record and didn't hear anyone else's accent? This movie. I know somebody has to be first. I don't know why you'd pick Dan of all people to be the first one.
Seemed like D or Doris you'd use.
Those two would make the most sense.
Your base,
yeah. Anyway, so that was the thing I just hated about this.
And it could be, and I suspect this happens a lot, especially with, because I know Sentai is out of Houston, and seems to happen a lot this happens with Funimation a lot of times also with their dubs. Kids seem to always get the short end of the stick with the English voice actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a Texas thing or if it's just we don't have as much talent out here.
Okay.
But that's a theory. I honestly don't know.
You don't have any kids in Houston. There's just no kids.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Or not any kids that are willing to work in a.
No, the joke of having no kids anywhere is the funnier joke. Come on, Drew.
You know I can't leave well enough alone.
I suppose not. All right.
Anyway.
Thank you for letting me get that off my chest. I feel much better now.
It's fair. Admittedly, if I had known there were two dubs, which I should have assumed with an anime this old, there were two English dubs, I would have tried to find if my Blu-ray had both English dubs, which oddly enough, usually if there's more than one dub, English dub, it gives us both. Odd that this one only included the new one.
Weird.
I would have asked which one you would have preferred to go with for an English dub.
Well, High Dive only had this one, so
I
was out of luck. But thank you.
All right, so kind of going back to what you were talking about, Francisco, it reminds me, myself being a huge Neon Genesis Evangelion fan, and I've mentioned that in the show before. So, Shinji, get the robot.
I'm still waiting for you to force me to watch that for animated series.
Oh, it'll happen.
It'll be after we finally get done with Tangled. But
oh my gosh, poor Tangled.
We did not start that particular project off.
No, we didn't. But either way. So me watching the original series, listening to the original cast, I was like, wow, this is a really good cast. And so then Netflix gets it and they redub it. I'm like, okay. So I listened to the first episode. I'm like, that's not Shinji. That's not Shinji.
Exactly.
It's not the high squee or anything. I'm like, and you listen to everybody else. I'm like, that's not Ray. That's not Asuka. It's Asuka Laney Soyuz, not Asuka whatever. Like what?
Not Asuka whatever.
It's Asuka Laney Soyuz, not whatever they make her in this dub. It's like, what the crap are you doing?
Hey, at least it's not 4Kids.
Oh my gosh. that whoever did the the what if 4 kids did the
Yeah.
intro.
That is funny.
That is hilarious. If you ever get a chance to go on YouTube and find that, it is hilarious.
It is funny.
Like a
I don't-
four
I
kids
haven't even
version
watched
of
all of
Neon
Evangelion, I
Genesis.
find it funny.
Yeah, the intro. Oh,
okay.
it is so funny.
That's
They
funny.
did a rap over the original theme song.
Oh,
It's funny because it's very much it's very much in that style of those cheesy 4 kids anime.
yes.
Uh-huh.
They tried to Americanize it, take all the Japanese out of it.
Pretty much.
That figures.
Yes.
But
But yeah.
it's still funny because you can tell it's a joke. I also like the King of the Hill version.
Oh gosh.
I haven't seen that.
But anyway,
Yeah. Anyways, be
You're
like
just
when you said that, Francisco, that instantly reminded me of that because the Netflix dub is so different. I'm like, can we go back to the original dub? That was so much better.
Uh-huh.
I
Exactly.
do not doubt you.
Yeah, but apparently the new Blu-ray release, which I'm gonna buy, I know that it has both dubs on it. I'm like, okay,
Oh, cool.
That
you.
makes sense because that way fans of both can enjoy the ones they like.
Exactly.
I will just
exactly.
be happy if they actually put the stinking correct end theme on it.
oh yeah, Fly Me to the Moon.
Oh wait, I thought we were talking about Vampire and D again. Oh,
No, we're
you're
still
talking about Neon Genesis?
Neon
He's
Genesis.
stuck on
Oh.
Evangelion. I've tried to get him off of it, but I can't get him to move.
Just
Dislike, sir.
Okay,
Poor
this-
Vampire Hunter D,
Okay.
not Evangelion.
Hey, I'm like a dog and be like,
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I've heard you bark.
yeah. If anybody doesn't know, I'm Tristan when I bark like a dog.
I'm still waiting for that to show up on the podcast.
It'll happen. Woof. I actually have former managers who every time they see me, they bark at me because it's a running joke.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I'm just glad you take it with stride and don't get
exactly.
mad at people.
I'd be like,
Right.
"Oh, I'm offended because you barked at me." Like, "Ha! I'll yell back at you." But either
Anyway,
way, all right.
back to Vampire Hunter
Hunter
D.
D. So okay, so speaking of my Tourette's disorder, kind of
Epilepsy?
tying that back into, the flashing lights. I'm like, oh,
okay.
stop,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I can have seizures or epilepsy,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, because how I won't go into how they diagnose you if you have Tourette's disorder and they want to verify it. They literally strap you down to an electrical chair
Oh, wow.
and turn on a strobe light. It's the worst experience ever.
I imagine. Jeez.
Yeah, that was terrible. They literally sent my parents out of the room because it was bad.
Yeah.
I won't go into the whole detail. It's I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But watching this, like definitely towards the end, like I said in the beginning,
Uh-huh.
like beginning of the show, there is a moment where their flights are going everywhere. I'm literally ducking
Yeah,
my
totally.
hand over my
Mhm.
eyes,
Mhm.
trying not to watch the flashing lights. I'm like, because I'm scared to death. I do not want to have a seizure because
Yeah,
they're
of course
not
not.
fun.
Yeah.
Because I've heard people say, "Oh, seizures are nothing." Have you had a seizure? It's terrible. It's like it's not one of the worst experiences I ever had, but it's
Mhm.
for I wouldn't be like, if you have seizures, you understand. If you've never had a seizure, you don't want to have a seizure.
Yeah. Okay.
So having flashing lights in this, I understand it's the 80s. They didn't take into effect.
They didn't even think about
They
it.
didn't even think about it.
yeah.
They didn't think about it until
Like
Electric Warrior Porygon episode of Pokemon.
yeah. Oh my
That's
gosh.
the one that
I'm never
causes
watching that.
the kids to have epileptic seizures in Japan.
Yeah. But either way,
in
be like,
the late 90s.
yeah, this was just more. I hated it because before I was diagnosed with Tourette's, I could watch something like that. But now I have Tourette's, I can't watch it, and it was
Mm.
really irritating. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, come on, stop. It's I want to look, but I know that flashing light's going to give me a problem
Uh-huh.
because I twitch. My body just twitches. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I don't want to deal with that. Okay, watching the film, it stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, it's back again. Come on, stop.
Mhm.
A brother wants to watch a film.
Right.
Yeah, so that was there again. It was the error. I understand. You just got to deal with it, but it was just it was irritating because I want to watch a film without having to. Thank the Lord, I have a brother in Christ who looks out for me, previews the film, and says, "Hey, watch out for this. This is gonna happen. It's gonna possibly cause your your epilepsy, your seizures to happen.
Yeah.
So be aware of that. So thank you again, Drew, for that.
Hey, it's
So-
just because I have a tendency to watch the film as early as possible.
Yeah.
Because I want to have time to for my brain to digest it.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I end up watching it before you do. And
Yeah.
when I see stuff like this, my first thought is, I might want to warn Jacob.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So yes, there again, like I said before, if you do have tendencies of having epileptic seizures, this show does have flashing lights.
Mhm.
At one point, there's a strobing light. So yeah, I give you far advance warrant. If you have a problem with that, just either know how to avoid it, watch it, or have someone preview for where they tell you where this happens, where you can avoid it, or don't watch the film at all. That's the only
That's
the
the
only
unfortunate
downside
part of it.
I can give somebody. Because believe me, I worked with the youth department for years, and there was one point we were going to do like an event in another church, and it was going to be a strobe light. Now, granted, it's a little just one strobe light, and the
Mhm.
youth minister was so scared to death. It's like, Jacob, you're not walking in that room, period, because he was scared I was going to have a seizure.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was the like what that was that second downside. It's like it has those strobing lights,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I want to watch it, but I know I can't because my seizures, and I don't want that. There again, I don't want anybody. If you never had
Right.
it, I pray you never do. It's
Hmm.
not good.
Now,
Yeah.
I know on the Blu-ray we watched, the contrast between those flashes was very bright because it was a very bright white light. that
Yeah,
was
very
strobing
bright
to.
white.
I know
Mm.
sometimes on the streaming services they dim that. Did you happen to notice that, Francisco? Because
I wasn't paying attention to it. No.
okay,
Okay.
So
I know
they
sometimes-
could have been, but
I know sometimes when they upload it for the streaming service, they will try to dim like the really bright lights.
Mhm.
I think not necessarily for the epilepsy part, but
oh
Yeah.
for-
wait, when Lee's minions came in and took down deactivated the fence and stuff, it became
Mhm.
darker. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so it could be that for at least for that version they have at least.
I was making a joke because
Listen.
things get darker when they take all the stuff down and break the
I'm
electrical
sorry.
grid.
Sorry.
Hilarious.
I thought things went over my head.
I was focused on an issue, okay?
And I derailed you. Mission accomplished. End of show. Good night, everybody.
Well, in that case, let's just go ahead and jump into my last.
Go for it.
Okay, I was paying attention to this movie. I
Okay.
guarantee you I was.
Mhm.
But there's a number of parts where I was confused on some things.
Oh, okay.
Such as, despite the fact that Summary claimed that Lamika was a Damphir,
Uh-huh.
being half vampire, half
Mhm.
human,
Mhm.
I swear they didn't actually say that in there.
Yeah.
Other than he said at one point you could live like a Damphir and live more like a human, and that's when she said, "No, I'll stay as a member of the nobility." I couldn't. In my mind, it's like she could have been bitten after she was born. Maybe I don't know exactly how the vampirism works in this universe, but I could see maybe her mother was a human and he married her, but then turned his daughter into a vampire, or maybe turned them both. It was confusing, at least in this dub,
I got
what was
go ahead.
going on there.
So how I have always heard it and interpreted it is that Lamika's saying you can't bring this woman who's just, I forget how she describes her, but just like not royal blood in this
Yeah.
family, and her dad's Lee is like, of course I can, because I did the same thing with your mother. And then that's what I'm not royal, I'm not pure blooded or something. And so that's my impression, that she was born of a human and Lee, who's a vampire. And so
Right.
that's why she's half and half, but not that she was bitten
Well,
after she was born or anything.
To some degree, I guess I was confused because in my mind it was like, I get that, if she was born of a vampire father and a human mother, yeah, that would be a Damphir. I get that part, but I was just confused. Like, I guess in my mind I was thinking maybe he turned both of them. I guess,
Oh, no,
but that's
don't
not
think so.
really. I don't know if that's not really supported in the film either.
yeah.
It's just I don't know, there were just bits and pieces like that where it's like
Mm-hmm.
they quickly would gloss over something, and now it's lore you're supposed to know. And it's like, wait, I missed something here, and I never went back to
You have
up.
like
And-
more clarity. In
yeah,
that.
and especially since this is anime, and most of the time the subtitles for anime are not based on the actual dub you're watching; it's based
Yeah.
on the subtitle version.
Mhm.
I did not have that playing at the time like I normally do with stuff because
Mhm.
sometimes I mishear things.
Mhm.
Happens.
Yeah, so I guess there was just little bits of confusion here or there I didn't quite get, and I don't
Mhm.
know if that could be both the writing's fault or it could just be the English version messing it up. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure which. I didn't get a chance to go back and watch it in the original Japanese like I normally do all of this
Mhm.
stuff. But anyway, that's my second dislike.
Mm.
Anybody got anything else before we give ratings?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay, Francisco, you're up. What is your rating for this on a 10-point scale?
On a 10-point scale, I'm going to give it a 7. I think
Okay.
it's definitely worth your time to watch. It's not as good as Bloodlust. I mean, there's so many improvements from story to set pieces to animation to voice acting that from what my memory, I haven't seen Bloodlust in a while. Bloodlust, I'd say, would be a 9. So this is down from that, but it's still worth your time to watch.
Okay. Jacob?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5. It's
In that
really
case, I
good-
give it an 8.
I give it a
Call.
7.
No, 7. I'm a 7. I'm a 7. Go ahead, Jacob. Sorry.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, just checking. All right, so 7.5. It's a great film. There again, be like nitpick, and the fact that it has those stinking strobing lights, which drove me
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
There again, if you don't have it, don't have the problem. Great. If you got it,
Not so great.
not so great. Let's say that. Great story, great characters, great reveal at the very end.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, he's Dracula's son?
He's
Another great
Alucard's brother.
Yeah. Exactly. Shocker of shocks.
Wait,
Dun, dun, dun.
How did this get into the Castlevania universe?
I don't. Well,
Shouldn't-
isn't
shouldn't one
Alucard
of these
Dracula's
be a Belmont
son
then?
also? I was talking over you, Drew. What'd you say?
Shouldn't one of these characters be a Belmont then?
No, I thought Alucard was Dracula's son. Is that not
He
the
is,
case?
but most of the heroes in Castlevania are Belmonts. Anyway,
Yeah. Either way. Yeah. Really great film. Yeah. 7.5.
Awesome.
Drew?
I'm gonna give it a 7. The animation is spot on. The bits of confusion I had are, those are more nitpicks than anything
Mhm.
else. Because for the most part, the film flows good.
Yeah.
And my issues with the fan service, as I called it, I noticed them at first, but then it's like, okay, yeah, this is what it is. It's a rated R anime.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, and at least
It's
it's
the
not
80s.
in your face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Awesome.
All right, that brings us to the end of the episode, which means we need to talk about what we're watching next. For the next 2 weeks, actually, we're going to be doing Batman: The Long Halloween, parts 1 and 2, with Dallas Mora of Geek Devotions for both episodes.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
It's all
Oh wait, did you say Dallas Mora?
yes,
Oh yeah.
Panda Boy.
Yeah.
Panda
that
boy.
guy. I'm kidding. I love you, Dallas.
So join us for the next 2 weeks for that at our normal time.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let me hit this.
Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh boy.
Francisco, tell us where we can find you at.
You can find me on at retrorewindpodcast.com. That's the main place. So Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all at Retro Rewind Pod. Also want to highlight, since this is an animated a show covering, since Cellcast covers animated things, on Saturday mornings on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I do something called Saracade Adventures, where I play games live that are like hand-drawn animated games, games that remind you of old cartoons of like the 80s and 90s. And I play those games. I'm there talking to everyone who's in chat. We have a lot of fun time. We have a fun time and experience these new games that remind you of cartoons of yore. So definitely check that out at twitch.tv/RetroRewindPod.
Alrighty then. I guess that's going to be it for us then.
Yep.
So in the meantime, this has been Drew,
This is Jacob.
and we'll catch you in the next frame.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, also on Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw each and every day. I don't get to it as often as I like, but join me there. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, on Twitter at Jacob Heron, and Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. So where can they find you, Drew?
You can also follow me on Letterboxd at ggeorge759, Facebook as Drew Dodgen, my Facebook page where you can see pictures I've taken at Drew's Photo Bin. You can also follow me on Twitter at ggeorge759.
You can email us at thecellcastpodcast at gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at cast_cell.
You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thecellcastgaming.
You can also follow us on YouTube at Cellcast,
Listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts,
Google Play Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Spotify.
and your favorite podcast directory.
You can also listen to us on the Movie of the Week podcast with Jim Heron, where we talk about live action movies. And remember, Cell is a single L.
I don't have the stinger for this one either, so
Blah, 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 blah.
piddle.
That's
There
it.
goes
I'm
Evil.
gonna get a longer cord.
Yeah. Should I stop my recording and
Yes,
send
go
it?
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and stop your recording. I'm gonna stop mine, and just send that via WeTransfer if you would to the Cellcast Podcast at gmail.com.
Okay.
I'll put that in Discord if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Once I find my cursor again. And I will get that edited tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Good deal. Man, this was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This
thank you
was
so much
so
for having me
much fun.
on.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're most welcome.
it was great to have you on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely,
It's
you get
great to
into
be on.
tangents about like live action movies and that's always fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Me
good.
too.
Do we have any more in the chat?
There's a lot of stuff in the chat, but it's all connected to what we were saying exactly. So
Oh, within time, what we're talking about?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't quite remember everything we were talking about. So
Yeah, but
What's happening? Do you prefer 44.1 or 48 for the sample rate? Or do you even care?
here's a good question. What does that number say?
Like what do you,
44.1.
what do you 44.1? Okay.
44.1. I had to look. I had to look at what I just recorded at.
Let's see. So,
You know how it is. You set the setting once, you never touch it again.
oh yeah, I get it. I'm not processing this at all, so
That's fine.
Right,
I'll do.
process.
I run a process over everything as it is anyway. So
it looks like, just looking at this, that I was like, it didn't look like it ever peaked, but I was loud a lot. So I'm sorry. I hope it's not I'm gonna listen to it. I'm just hoping it's not like super distorted or anything.
it should be fine.
Da, 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 da.
All right, guys. Hey, guys, thank you so much for in the chat.
Yeah.
This was amazing. This was
Thank
an
you
amazing
all.
time. Thank you again to Francisco from
You
the
are
Retro
quite
Rewind
welcome.
podcast
Mm-hmm.
and or Retro Rewind Pod on
Well, no.
YouTube.
Oh yeah, there you go. I was like, no, you got it right. Oh yeah.
So yeah, we will be back for next week. As you heard, we're doing Batman: The Long Halloween with
one.
Dallas.
Part one.
Part
for this
one.
first
Part one.
season.
It's dos. So yeah, come back if you like what you've heard, because it's probably goofier next week. Tomorrow, next Tuesday.
Yeah, this coming Tuesday.
This Tuesday, because we had to reschedule because for Francisco, which was fine.
Thank you, by the way. That I really appreciate your flexibility
not a
in
problem.
doing that, so I could join.
It was
you.
it was so well. Thankfully, we had
We had something we could cover with.
We had something we can cover
could
with
do that night
to do a reaction with, which was great, because
Mm-hmm.
I think doing nothing on a Tuesday night was be like, I'm supposed to be doing something, but
Well,
I'm not doing anything.
I
Yeah.
was gonna just do another streaming night on Dragon Quest XI, but I changed my mind when we decided to do that. so-
Right. But yeah, guys, if you like what you listen to, please go check out wherever you listen to podcasts,
Mhm.
and like and subscribe, share, give us a 5-star review, and all that jazz.
And,
And,
also check out Retro if you don't already. know
Exactly.
about his
Go
stuff.
plug them. Go show them some love.
They're a great show. I've been
Exactly.
listening to them for 3 years now.
Thank
which
you
they-
guys.
Yeah, you guys been doing that for what? 10 years now?
It'll be 9 years in November.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's really, really good. So yeah, guys, be like, share the video, share the podcast wherever you get it, wherever you listen to it, and let us know. Comment down below what you think if you've watched Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. Please let us know, and if you like, please you can go to our merch store, which we have now one Redbubble /the Cellcast, and go check out our merch.
Mhm.
We don't have a lot right now, but we're
We
working
have
on
a
some more
shirt.
stuff. Yeah, we have a shirt, we have a cup, we have a sticker, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So go check that out if you want to go on merch. Or we have a Patreon, which is $1, $5, and $10 tiers. And go check that out, and that'll help us financially support the show. And you never know. Lord's will be like, if it's the Lord's will, things could change, and
Who knows?
well, hey, we could be doing this full time. That'd be kind of weird. It'd be kind of
That'd
cool.
be awesome.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Be a lot more time on my hands.
Oh,
How-
believe me.
With all that time, how are you going to raise your hands? Oh, the time's keeping it down. Keeping my hands
I
down.
don't know. I don't know.
But either way, yeah. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Those who did in the chat, thank you again.
Yes.
And
yeah, Geek Devotions, you are late.
Yeah.
and yeah.
What?
I would prefer
Just
you
now?
not be late next week or the week after that. I'm just quoting him. So
No, I see that. I see that. That's funny.
but yeah, thank you again for everybody who showed up in the chat.
Yes,
And thank you for the
Yes.
support. If it's not financially, it's sharing. If it's
Yes.
not that, it's just listening to us geek out about animated movies and having amazing friends come on to
whatever else happens to come up in conversation.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure with Batman Long Halloween 1 and 2, it's gonna probably go nutty like this one does. And this was a great episode. Thank you again.
Yes.
And we will catch you in the next frame. So see you next Thursday, and get ready for the
Long Halloween.
for the Long Halloween with a Batman.
Don't forget to rescue Dan from the bottle. Dan
Yes.
needs your support.
Oh
He's
yeah,
trapped in the
that's
bottle.
right.
Yes, he needs all the rescue he can get.
Apparently. All right,
He's
guys.
like Matt
Thank you.
Damon in all those movies where the U.S. government has to go save him from something again.
What?
You
Yeah,
ever
what?
realize how many times in movies the U.S. government has had to go and save Matt Damon?
I mean, Saving Private Ryan
Ryan. True.
and The Martian.
I think there's a couple others.
Yeah,
I've
The
heard
Martian. There's several films where Matt Damon had to get his tail end saved by somebody.
by somebody. Yeah. Anyway.
I see.
thanks
Good Will
for joining
Hunting.
us, guys.
That's the other one.
Do it.
No,
Well,
nothing. Never
Robin
mind.
Williams had to help him
That
inspire
wasn't the
him.
government.
Huh?
Well, either way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways.
It's late for
Yes.
me. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Well, see you
Bye.
later.
Oh, I guess I need to raid somebody on
Yeah,
Twitch.
rate
don't I?
somebody.
Oh, good night. What? I am a horrible
Jeez.
Twitch host.
Jeez.
Good night. I am so horrible.
Cheese and crackers, man.
I always forget this part until like almost the last second.
Yeah, rate us and be like, wait, what?
I could raid this weird channel called Retro Rewind.
We could.
I'm actually not live right now. I'm hosting you guys, so
Oh,
it
I
would
guess
work.
it
Well, never
does-
mind. That'd be
it
kind of
does-
awkward.
Ironically, it does say you're on. Which
well
is
because
weird.
Oh, that is weird. Why is that?
I don't
Now
know.
I have
now
no
I'm
idea.
confused.
I'm gonna send it to Book of Gaming. He's playing Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all go hang out with him. We'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Once that countdown goes. And boop. And now my cursor has disappeared again, and I need to get over here back to StreamYard so I can cancel it elsewhere.